أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
وكان الله بكل شيء عليما يا رب صل على كتاب البشرى وبالنذير وبالقرآن والحكم يا رب صل على كتاب البشرى وبالنذير وبالقرآن والحكم يا رب صل على من جاء بالبشرى وبالنذير وبالقرآن والحكم يا رب صل على من جاء بالبشرى وبالنذير وبالقرآن والحكم
الحمد لله رب العالمين
وأكرم الرسل أعلاما وإسلاما محمد أحمد محمود حامد
الحمد لله على كل آلي الحمد لله عبادة كل آلي الحمد لله قبل كل آلي الحمد لله رب العالمين adúpẹ́ fún Ọlọ́run ẹ bá share ẹ bá pa àwọn èèyàn wọlé inshallah Aku jímọ̀ ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ jímọ̀ Ọlọ́run já ṣe láyé Ọlọ́run já ṣe láyé rẹ̀ ìlàrà amáni inshallah alhamdulillah ìjà máa gbójú olè ní the external influences of marriage inshallah tí a máa gbójú olè ní nìyẹn inshallah ẹ bá pa àwọn èèyàn wọlé kájọ wá gbádùn ẹ̀ inshallah à ń kí ìyàwó rìsíkíyà Kamalidin ìyàwó Nikma Ọlọ́run já rí pé àti ìyàwó Rashida àti Ìṣọ̀lá ìlàlẹ amáàmì inshallah Ọlọ́run já rí gbogbo wa pé أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله على كل آلي الحمد لله عبادة كل آلي الحمد لله قبل كل آلي الحمد لله رب العالمين رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد نبيا ورسولا وبالقرآن إماما ودليلا وبقبلتين وبالمؤمنين إخوة الحمد لله على كل آلي الحمد لله عبادة كل آلي الحمد لله قبل كل آلي الحمد لله رب العالمين adúpẹ́ fún Ọlọ́run aṣẹ́yìn fún Ànábì wa Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam Ànábì tó jẹ́ pé ìkẹ́ ni fún gbogbo wa rahmatan lil alamin Ànábì tó jẹ́ pé ìkẹ́ ni fọ́kùnrin ìkẹ́ ni fóbìnrin ìkẹ́ ni gbogbo ayé ó náà ló já dá nǹkan mọ́ gbogbo lè tá ń ṣe yín náà Ànábì náà ló já máa rí ṣe àwa ṣe ẹ̀yìn tó pọ̀ fún Ànábì wa Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam nígboro Medina kàdápadà orí ìkẹ́ náà kò máa bẹ́ ní kọ̀ọ̀kan wa la hawla wala quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim lẹ́ni inshallah àfi eléyìí náà kí àwọn ìyá wa Rizkiya Kamaludin pé salamullahi alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Naam báyìí àti ìyá wa Rashida Akéwúṣọlá náà pé salamullahi alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh ya imam.
يا نحمد أنكي أولا مرحبا أهلا وسهلا السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته لني إن شاء الله أنتي يا معبودوني the external influences of marriage the external influences of marriage àdìpẹ́lẹ́ yìí náà wà rampant ó common tó sì ti tú ìgbéyàwó ká lóríṣiríṣi àwa fẹ́ gbójú wo gangan pàápàá lẹ́ni insha Allah ntí ẹ lè ṣe ní pé ẹ bá wa share ẹ bá pa àwọn èèyàn wọlé kò sí ní tá a ṣe lórí ètò yìí tí ò jẹ́ wípé àǹfààní ló jẹ́ fáwa mùsùlùmí ẹni tí ò ń ṣe mùsùlùmí náà àǹfààní náà ló jẹ́ fún gbogbo wa kọ́lọ́njọ́ kọ́lọ́n ṣe orí ọ̀tún kọ́lọ́n máa ṣe fẹ́ ní kọ̀ọ̀kan wa ilal amami insha Allah wa rafa'nahu makanan aliyan. A máa lọ sọ́dọ̀ yàwá Rizkiya Kamaluddin ní pé kí la lè pè ní fámìlì gangan pàápàá kí la lè pè ní fámìlì bismillah.
نعم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله على نعمة الإسلام وكفى بالنعمة والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين المتمم به النبوة وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Now gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìbéèrè tẹ́ béèrè pé kí là ń pè ní fámìlì kí la lè pè ní ẹbí. Ẹbí jẹ́ àwọn èèyàn kan tí wọ́n kó jọ tí wọ́n papọ̀ láti ara marriage first pé ọkùnrin àti obìnrin wọn á máa papọ̀ bí Ọlọ́run bá ọba àlékè ọlá ṣe sọ fúnra nínú Suratu Rum wípé wàmínà hayà tí hánà kọlákọlákùn mi àwọn fèsì fún àdúrà àjà ìléha wàjà àkàbẹ̀ inákùn mawaddatan wa rahma inna fi dhalika la'ayatin liqawmin yatafakkarun. Ọba mi ọba àlékè ọlá ó ní nínú àmì òun Ọlọ́run ọba lòun fi dá látara ara wa òun dá àmì òun ni òun dá wa ó dá ọkùnrin ó dá méètì fún ó dá ẹnì kejì fún pé ká lè jọ máa gbé pọ̀ pẹ̀lú ìfẹ́ àti compassion àti pé ká nífẹ̀ẹ́ ara wa ká gbé pẹ̀lú ìfàyàbalẹ̀ látara ọkùnrin àti obìnrin tí wọ́n fẹ́ra wọn yìí látara bẹ́ẹ̀ àwọn èso rere wọ́n máa jáde láti bẹ̀ àwọn èso tá à ń pè ní ọmọ ìbáríkà wọ́n máa jáde láti bẹ̀ àwọn náà di fámìlì kan nìyẹn wọ́n di ẹbí kan nìyẹn tí ẹbí yẹn bá tún wá gbòòrò sí láwọn ọmọ tí a bí nínú ẹbí yẹn àwọn náà á tún márì àwọn náà àti bímọ á wá di pé ká máa di ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ so gbogbo àwọn tá a so pọ̀ mọ́ra wọn yìí òun náà là ń pè ní fámìlì torí pé Ọlọ́run bá àlékè ọlá nínú design ẹ̀ bó ṣe dáwọ̀ ẹ̀dá kò ju wá sílẹ̀ lẹ́yọ kọ̀ọ̀kan ó fi ṣe ìtẹ́gẹ̀ fún wa wípé kí ó lè protect humanity ká máa fẹ́ra wa ká máa bí sí ká máa rẹ̀ sí ká lè pè ní ẹbí nìyẹn àwọn tí ẹ̀jẹ̀ jọ pa wá papọ̀ ó lè jẹ́ látara ìyá látara bàbá ìfẹ́ ló dà wá pọ̀ tá a fi kàn náà tá a fi fámìlì.
Naam, alhamdulillah jazakumullahu khairan. Eléyìí tí ẹ wí náà ẹ jẹ́ àmọ́ tí wọ́n pè ní ẹbí kọ́lọ́njọ́ ọlọ́mọ tú ẹbí wa ká ilal amami insha Allah. Lọ sọ́dọ̀ àmọ́ tí ó ń ṣe kíní fídíò alájà wa Nima ó ń lọ ó ń bọ̀ insha Allah ọlọ́run àbá dáwọ́lé a tún lè gbádùn àwọn náà insha Allah. A lọ sọ́dọ̀ ìyàwó Akéwúṣọlá a ní ká wò dáadáa kí ni àti Islam perspective on kinship ẹ̀yin ẹ̀ bá gbójú wò yẹn náà ìhàwó ní Islam kọ sí yẹn bismillah.
Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin wassalatu wassalam ala khairi alkihi afdalul anbiya'i wa imamul mursalin habibina wa sayyidina wa maulana Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Qala rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Like I always say, it is not by our might and never by our power that we are again here today. It is by the glory of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We always adore him. We always give glory to him. We always give thanks to him, for making today another beautiful day. And whatever we've been saying, what we will continue to say, may all be beneficial to everyone on earth and in the hereafter.
Àmín ya Allah.
Ní ẹ̀sìn fún gbogbo wa, kó gbà ní ìbádà fún gbogbo wa. Àti àwa tá à ń sọ, àtàwọn tó ń gbọ́ báyìí, àti àwọn tí wọ́n tún máa gbọ́ náà, k'Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kó ṣe gbogbo wa ní àlùbáríkà tó pọ̀, kó ṣe gbogbo wa ní àǹfààní tó pọ̀. K'Ọlọ́run kó má wá da ẹbí wa rú bí Imam ṣe sọ síwájú. When we are talking about family in Islam, Islam gbé àpọ́nlé tó pọ̀ púpọ̀ fún family gan ni. Family is not something tí èèyàn lè joke pẹ̀lú in Islamic society. Family is Islam, and it is indicated in some verses of the Holy Quran, bí ẹbí bó ṣe tóbi tó. Example is Quran 4 verse 1 níbi tó ti sọ fún wa pé kí gbogbo wa ká mọ ìṣe wa pẹ̀lú pípe ṣíṣe duty wa sí Ọlọ́run, àti sí gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n jọ bí wa papọ̀ náà. So it's very important. If Allah himself can be mentioning things about relatives, about family in the Holy Quran, then we should know how important it is to keep our family together, to keep our society together. Kò dẹ̀ sí nǹkan méjì tá à ń ṣe nínú family ju pé ká share love, ká share affection, ká dẹ̀ look out for each other. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí nǹkan tí Islam tí ó kọ́ wa náà nìyẹn, ká give unto nǹkan tó bá yẹ ká ṣe fún oníkálukú nínú ẹbí wa, ká make sure pé à ń ṣe. Ká dẹ̀ tún wá kọ́ ìṣe ànábì wa Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, torí pé ànábì wa Muhammad náà ó ní ẹbí, ó níyàwó, ó ní àwọn ọmọ, ó dẹ̀ bá àwọn èèyàn gbé, ó bá àwọn èèyàn ṣe, ó kó àwọn èèyàn mọ́ra, àti àwọn tó bí fúnra rẹ̀ àtàwọn tó pàdé lójú ọ̀nà ẹ̀sìn Islam. So àríkọ́ṣe gidi ni ànábì Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam wọ́n jẹ́ fún àwa Muslim. So a family, it's very, very important in Islam. So we can't joke with it. Ọlọ́run náà sọ pé a kò gbọdọ̀ jẹ́ kí okùn ẹbí kó já láti ọwọ́ wa. So if it's not important to keep family together, Ọlọ́run ò ní máa refer sí nínú ìwé mímọ́ tí gbogbo wa tí à ń lò. So and gbogbo ọ̀dẹ̀dọ́gba a máa yàtọ̀tọ̀ síra wa. Even the twin, that are born the same day, even kò jẹ́ pé wọ́n wá with the same placenta, ìwà wọn náà máa yàtọ̀tọ̀ síra wọn. So we need to be able to accommodate each other. We need to be able to build strong relationship with each other, irrespective of every situation tó lè ṣẹlẹ̀. We will fight, we'll quarrel, we will forgive, and we will move on. Inshallah bi qudratillah. So family ò kí ń ṣe nǹkan tí a lè fi ṣeré gẹ́gẹ́ bí mùsùlùmí òde.
Alhamdulillah, Ọlọ́run gan ti sọ fún wa pé ká má jẹ́ kí okùn ẹbí ká má jẹ́ ó já lọ́tọwọ́ wa. Family náà ni gbogbo ẹ̀, k'Ọlọ́run jọ̀ọ́ k'Ọlọ́run ṣàánú wa. Ẹ ṣé ìyá wa Rashida Akéwúṣọlá. Inshallah nígbà tá a máa retí ìyá wa Neema kí wọ́n bá wọlé, ó dà pé network yẹn ni ó ń ṣe bákan. A lọ sọ́dọ̀ ìyá wa Rashida Rizkia Kamaludin. Ẹ bá identify àwọn external influences in marriage. Àwọn ọmọ kan wò la lè rò pé ilé external in marriage.
Alákọ̀ọ́kọ́ ká kọ́ lọ mọ̀ pé marriage, tá a bá sọ pé marriage láàárín èèyàn méjì ló wà, ọkọ àti aya, àwọn ni wọ́n wà ní center. Àwọn family tó wà ní family ìyàwó àbí family ọkọ, they become external in a particular way. They're not totally external, but they are part of it. So láàárín ọkọ àti aya ni marriage ọkọ dúró dáadáa kó tó kan ẹbí. So lára àwọn nǹkan tí ó máa ń fà á tó máa ń jẹ́ external influence, ó lè jẹ́ family ọkọ àbí family ìyàwó. Yálà káwọn wò ó níwò pé bóyá láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ gan wọ́n ti wò pé ọmọ àwọn gan eléyìí tó fẹ́ yìí ò wọ́ ọ̀tẹ̀ àbí kò fẹ́ àbí bákan lórí àbí bákan kọ́ ni ò rí along the line. Sometimes it is the society that I belong to. Jẹ́ pé ìṣe àti àṣà tá à ń ṣe ní a particular society ó ń affect bí ọkọ àti ìyàwó ṣe ń bára wọn lò nínú ilé. Ìgbà míì ó lè jẹ́ culture ni, ó jẹ́ pé ìṣe àti àṣà àwọn èèyàn kan, just like any culture, òun ló ń affect bí wọ́n ṣe ń ṣe pẹ̀lú ara wọn. Àbí environment, a lè rí nínú àwọn ìran míì tó jẹ́ pé some are forced into their marriage. So irú nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn later ó máa affect marriage yẹn. Sometimes it's actually the social media. Àwọn nǹkan táwọn èèyàn ń wò, the fake affluence ni wọ́n rí níta. The pasture is always greener on the other side. When people see how people relate, they think this is rosy, why it's mine like this? So they're comparing through social media. Sometimes it's jealousy and envy of friends because they're looking at those friends and they're talking to them. And when they talk to these people, they're hearing some other stuff from them. So àwọn yẹn á máa influence ọ̀rẹ́, á máa influence bó ṣe ń ronú papọ̀ nínú ilé pẹ̀lú ara wọn, ìbáṣepọ̀ bó ṣe ń bára wọn ṣe. Ìgbà míì kẹ̀ré ó lè jẹ́ the way the husband or the wife is looking at the world itself is totally different. So the ex way of looking at those, not just the inside of their house, bí wọ́n ṣe ń rìn nǹkan, ó lè yàtọ̀ síra wọn nígbà míì. Nígbà míì just talking to people, Yorùbá máa ń ní ẹni tí ò gbàmọ̀ràn rárá, ó ń ṣe tí ò dáa. Ẹni tó ń gbàmọ̀ràn náà, ó tún ń ṣe tí ò dáa. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ ká mọ̀ nínú àyà kan pé àwọn tí wọ́n máa ń listen sí advice, but tí wọ́n máa take eléyìí tó dáa jù nínú ẹ̀. Alladhina yastami'una al-qawla wa yattabi'una ahsanahu. Àwọn tí wọ́n máa ń mú èyí tó dáa nínú ẹ̀. Ulaika alladhina hadahumullah. Àwọn làwọn tọ́nà bá máa tọ́ sọ́nà. Wa ulaika hum ulul albab. Àwọn làwọn tí wọ́n ṣe làákàyè. Sometimes it is the advice the people gbọ́ níta, àgbọ́jú àmọ̀ràn, wọ́n á mú wá sínú ilé, á bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní affect family wọn, á bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní affect bí wọ́n ṣe ń ronú fún ara wọn pàápàá, mindset wọn á yàtọ̀ sí báwọn àtọkọ wọn bí wọ́n ṣe ti jọ, àbí ìyàwó àtọkọ bí wọ́n ṣe ti jọ ń bára wọn lò tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀. So àwọn kíní yìí a máa wá ní kọ̀ọ̀kan, ó lè wá látọ̀rẹ́, ó lè wá láti family, and sometimes it's the finances. Bíyà ìnáwó kan dé, àbí bá wọn tiẹ̀ ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ gan, owó tí wọ́n bóyá ńgbà tán tiẹ̀ fẹ́ ṣèyàwó, owó tán ti fi kọ́kọ́ ṣe náà, ó dá wàhálà ńlẹ̀. Àbí lẹ́yìn ìgbà tán ti wà papọ̀ náà ni, ó lè jẹ́ finances pé bóyá Ọlọ́run ò ràn kọ́ lọ́wọ́ tó láti lè ṣe àwọn nǹkan kan, àwọn ojúṣe kan. Tàbí ó dẹ̀ ràn lọ́wọ́, ó ń dè ń ṣe nìyẹn. Àbí kọ́kọ́ gan máa retí pé ó yẹ kí ìyàwó òun náà máa dá sí i, àbí kọ́kọ́ ìyàwó ò pé tí ìyàwó kan ń dá sí i kò tó. So àwọn all these things á máa affect àwọn people ní láàárín àwọn méjèèjì. Ìfẹ́ wà ńbẹ̀, òun dáadáa tí wọ́n tó ń bára wọn tó wà ńbẹ̀. Influence àwọn bóyá finances, ọ̀rẹ́ ni, social media ni, ẹbí ni, nínú ni, wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní affect wọn díẹ̀díẹ̀. Àwọn nǹkan tí mo lè fàyọ níwọ̀nba nìyẹn. Bóyá tá a bá tún bá ọ̀rọ̀ lọ, àwọn nǹkan míì náà lè tún wọ́n lè tún wá.
Naam, alhamdulillah. Àwọn tí social media gan tẹ mẹ́nubà yẹn gan wàhálà ni. Àwọn ẹlòmíì inshallah. A lọ sọ́dọ̀ àwọn ìyá wa Ni'ma inshallah. Ìtẹ́ afẹ́kẹ́ bá gbójú wò láàrin ìṣẹ́jú tí ò ní pẹ́ náà ni báwo ni a lè ṣe keep away àwọn external influences away from marriage.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bó ṣe sọ, àwọn influences tó affect marriage wọ́n pọ̀ lóríṣiríṣi. But discipline àti sincerity ni àwọn ingredients téèyàn lè fi mú àwọn nǹkan tó yẹ kéèyàn keep away from àti àwọn nǹkan téèyàn máa allow. And sincerity tí mò ń sọ, tíyàn bá ti decide àti wà in a relationship with anyone, especially marriage, it means that the two people have become the protector of each other's interest. Ẹ bá mọ bí Ànábì ṣe tẹnumọ́ àjọ náà fún obìnrin tó ṣọ́ ẹnu ẹ̀ àti the two openings, ẹ ti mọ̀ pé ìkànnú àwọn most important things tó yẹ kéèyàn guard. And there's another hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that says a woman who guards her husband's property. So the responsibility does not just fall on the woman. Alhamdulillah, we are Muslims. In Islam, the responsibility is as much as it is for a woman as it is for men. Àwọn èèyàn máa misunderstand Islam to be a religion that is patriarchal, but that is not the truth. In fact, it is very, very far from the truth. In Islam, as much as a woman protects and guards the marriage, so also is the responsibility on the man. Now, what are the interests of women in marriage? The protection from harm, the provision of our husband. Àwọn nǹkan tí mo ṣe ń ṣàlàyé yẹn, the emphasis is on the man for the purpose of this sermon, because women are already clear as to what they need to protect. But àwọn ọkùnrin, there's this confusion when it comes to the nuclear unit family. There's a confusion for men where their interest is also still on the extended family in Africa mostly. If it in practice Islam, màmá rí clash ọkùnrin míì tó jẹ́ Muslim á nítorí àlùjánnà wà lábẹ́ ẹsẹ̀ yẹ ìyàwó náà di ẹrú family. because bóyá ìyá yẹn ló jẹ́ matriarch wọn gbọ́dọ̀ share and all of those things. So a clarity as to the interest of both parties. The first of them is both of them. Ọkùnrin tí ó fẹ́ obìnrin ló máa account fún bí ó ṣe gbé bóyá ó fún lálàáfíà bóyá ó fi lọ́kàn balẹ̀, and men don't like to hear it. But ìgbà t'Ọlọ́run ní marry for, there's a part of that where you do justice. That justice was not talking about the people he did not marry. It was talking directly about who he marries. So whether he marries more than one, the woman's interest ní justice tí wọ́n sọ nínú Suratu Nisa yẹn. And so that clarity is not difficult to find, except that the person is practicing Islam and be clouding it a lot with culture. So clarity as to the both parties' interest in a marriage, sincerity as to that interest in that marriage, and determination, because oh tough, there's going to be confusion. You would find interpretations from everywhere. And it usually starts from the moment you're trying to get married. My sister earlier, Sister Risco, was talking about some marriages based on matchmaking. Alhamdulillah, mine was basically matchmaking between two families. So those kind of interests, clarity here, Joko Soro must happen. We must have proper discussions. For some of us, we don't get to sit in the past, but these days we advise young people, sit down and clarify what interests both of you are going into the marriage. And the moment you see that the decisions that you take as a man affects your wife, immediately you're beginning to clash with the interest of that marriage. So for me, the most important factor is sincerity and determination. Thank you, sir.
Naam, alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Níbi tí alájà wa ní ìmọ̀ tí wọ́n ti gbé yẹn, ibẹ̀ lèmi ti fẹ́ ká clarify àwọn kankan. When we look at ibi tá ti wá, the Africa, I believe extended family. Tàbá wo ibi tá wà ń bì yìí, ní UK ní Canada ní America ní àmà wife ni. A sì mọ̀ wípé kó ló ti gbá fẹ́yàwó náà, ibi ìyá náà ló kọ́kọ́ rè wá, aláwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n, aláwọn tá ti jọ ń bá bọ̀. Ǹjẹ́ tá bá ti wá rí ìyàwó náà tán nísìn external influence náà, ṣé ìyá ọkọ àbí ìyá ìyàwó, bàbá ọkọ, bàbá ìyàwó, ẹ̀gbọ́n ọkọ, ẹ̀gbọ́n ìyàwó, àbí family ọkọ àbí family ìyàwó sán ti di external influence lórí ìyàwó yẹn náà, lórí marriage wa náà nìyẹn. Àbírú external influence wo ni ẹ̀yin sọ, alájà wa Rizkiya Kamaluddin?
Now, my sister Nima. Now, tí ó bá ti di láàrin yẹn, bí Sister Nima ṣe sọ, bí mo ṣe sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan, marriage wà láàrin ẹbí sẹ́bí lóòótọ́, but àwọn méjì tán papọ̀ tán sọra wọn di ẹyọ kan yẹn, àbí tí wọ́n sọ pé ẹnu àwọn fẹ́ kú, àwọn fẹ́ jọ gbé ìgbé ayé ìdùnnú àti the other side tó bá dé náà, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n ti di external to some extent. Because tẹ bá wo bí sister mi ṣe sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan, ní pé tẹ bá wo world view àwọn méjì tó ń bọ́ sínú marriage yẹn, bóyá àwọn nǹkan tí wọ́n jọ agree láàrin wọn. In most cases, they don't go to these people to say nǹkan tá jọ agree, nǹkan tá jọ agree, nǹkan tá jọ agree ni. It is between the two of them. And àwọn tó kù yìí wọ́n lè máa mọ̀ ibi tí ẹnìkan weak sí, ibi tí strength ẹnìkan wà, ibi tí àléébù ẹnìkan wà, ibi tí àléébù ẹnìkan ò sí. Àwọn méjèèjì ti jọ gbà fúnra ra wọn. Ṣùgbọ́n tó bá ti di wípé bóyá àǹtí ẹ̀ dé ó ní àbẹ́ẹ̀rí ìyàwó bọ̀dá mi ò máa mọ kinní kankan sí, àbí ìyàwó àbúrò mi bákan ló ṣe ṣe, àbí bákan kọ́ lẹ́ni ò ṣe ṣe. Ọkùnrin ní láti dúró láti protect interest ìyàwó ẹ̀, not to sọ pé kó indulge ìyàwó ẹ̀ nínú nǹkan tí kò dá o, àbí kó gbà pé kó rí àwọn ẹbí òun fín o. Ṣé yẹ yín gẹ́gẹ́ bí mùsùlùmí, a mọ̀ pé ìgbà tá ti lọ sí àwọn family àti di ara wọn àti di kan náà. Tá bá máa rí ìyá ọkọ wa gbọ́dọ̀ rí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìyá wa náà ni, tá bá máa rí bàbá ọkọ gbọ́dọ̀ rí gẹ́gẹ́ bí bàbá wa náà ni. Àmọ́ síbẹ̀síbẹ̀ àwọn nǹkan míì máa wá tí wọ́n máa gbé wá bá wa tí kì í ṣe tí ọkọ àti ìyàwó jọ gbà pé báwọn ṣe fẹ́ jọ máa ṣe nì, tí ò dẹ̀ ṣe pé ó pa àwọn ẹbí kankan lára. Ó kàn ti mọ́ wa lára níbi tá a ti wá ni pé tí obìnrin bá ti wọlé ó dẹrú wa. In fact, láwọn ayé ìgbà kan, I remember my mom, wọ́n bá fẹ́ refer sí anybody from her side, ẹrú mi, ó mọ́ wa lára débi tá a máa pe ìyàwó ní ẹrú, ìyàwó ò kì í ṣe ẹrú. Ọlọ́run ní pé kájọ fẹ́ra wa kájọ wà papọ̀ pẹ̀lú ìdùnnú àtayọ̀ ni. Sekina, Rahma lọ́lọ́run ní kájọjọ bára wa lò. So tí ẹbí ìyàwó àbẹ́bí ọkọ bí mo ṣe sọ lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ tóró máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ gbà tí àwọn ẹbí kan máa wò pé bóyá ọmọ àwọn marry down àbẹ́bí ìyàwó náà dẹ̀ lè wò pé bó ṣe dáa tó bí gbogbo nǹkan ṣe wà fún irú ẹni tó lọ mú wá nì kò ń ṣe gbogbo èèyàn ló ní irú àǹfààní irú tí sísà mi nìyẹn bí ẹbí máa ń jókòó wọ́n máa jọ wò pé ọmọ yìí bá ẹbí wa mu àbí ẹbí ìbára wọn mu ẹ jẹ́ àfàwọn ọmọ ìfúnra wọn in most cases gan nílẹ̀ Yorùbá kì í sábà ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ayé ìgbà kan ń ṣẹlẹ̀ bọ̀ láwọn ayé ìgbà tàwa kéékèèké yìí kò fi bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ wọ́n máa ń retí kí oníkálukú àyèwé bí wọn ló mú wálé tó ló fẹ́fẹ́ wọ́n máa ń retí kéèyàn mú wá ni so tó bá ti jẹ́ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́sẹ̀ jọ tó ìwọ̀nba ló gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ pé n tí òbí bá sọ láàrin yẹn tó jẹ́ pé láàrin àwọn méjì ló máa affect o kò affect family o ìwọ̀nba la gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ kó máa affect wa mọ́ otherwise a máa dá họ́wùhọ́wù sílẹ̀ nínú family yẹn so ìwọ̀nba ni external yẹn gbọ́dọ̀ lọ that clarity has to be there just like my sister said it has to be there àyè ìyá ọ̀tọ̀ àyè ìyàwó ọ̀tọ̀ obìnrin tó bá dẹ̀ gbọ́n náà á mọ̀ pé òun ò ní lọ sílé ìyá ọkọ òun àbí ilé ẹbí ọkọ òun kó máa lọ figagbága we're not there to compete we're there to support one another you will see your mother-in-law as your own mom o dẹ̀ ní fẹ́ tó bá fẹ́ràn ọkọ ẹ lóòótọ́ o ní fẹ́ kí ọkọ ẹ kọlu gbà Ọlọ́run látara àyà ẹ̀ torí bíbá yìí nìkan kan la fẹ́ gbé afẹ́jọ ṣiṣẹ́ ayé àtàlùjọ náà papọ̀ ni so whatever it is that is happening o ní fẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí obìnrin rẹ o ní fẹ́ kí ọmọ ṣe ìyá ẹ̀ látara títí ẹ̀ Ọlọ́run kó bá kọ́ àwọn ọkùnrin wa gbọ́n mú wọn pé iṣẹ́ ńlá ni láàrin méjì tọkùnrin bá ti kó sáàrin méjì tí ìyá bá ń fà tíyàwó ń fà ó ti di iṣẹ́ ńlá ṣùgbọ́n the best tó yẹ ká ṣe obìnrin mùsùlùmí kò ní lọ ọbẹ̀ kó lọ ṣe competition pẹ̀lú ìyá ọkọ ẹ̀ àbábùrò ọkọ ẹ̀ lóbìnrin àbẹ́gbẹ́ pẹ̀lú obìnrin.
ibi tó lọ dé gọgọ lẹ mú
lọ́dọ̀ alájà wa ní ọ̀dọ̀ yín náà ni mo ń bọ̀ mo ń bọ̀ ní ọ̀dọ̀ yín náà ni ní pé ẹja gbójú situation yìí jẹ́ pé obìnrin fúnra rẹ̀ ṣáà pé ó gba ọkùnrin filefile wá ẹ̀yin obìnrin náà lẹ nílé ń tẹ́ bá fún wa jẹ náà la fẹ́ jẹ tẹ́ bá fẹ́ kí direction lè ṣe rí náà ẹ mọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe máa ń ṣe tẹ́ máa fẹ́ kí direction lè rí báyìí but wọ́n fẹ́ lọ sọ́dọ̀ alájà wa níma nígbà tẹ́ sọ pé ọkọ ọjọ́ máa ń jírù gan máa ń ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ most especially lóbìnrin máa ń fẹ́ pé ilé àwọn làwọn fẹ́ kí gbogbo kíní yẹn máa lọ tí wọ́n dẹ̀ fẹ́ máa rí pé tí wọ́n bá fẹ́ jíròrò yẹn wọ́n fi báyà bí ọgbọ́n torí obìnrin á fẹ́ àkérékèrékè náà máa sọ pé nǹkan báyìí náà nǹkan báyìí láwọn máa negate ti ṣáìdì ọkọ pàápàá lórí pé a fẹ́ gbé ṣé bí máa fẹ́ lọ ní pé tó bá wá bímọ àbí tó ṣe pé bí àbẹ̀wò ṣé ìyá ọkọ ò lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ láti wá ní ṣé ìyá ìyàwó nìkan àbẹ̀bí ìyàwó nìkan ló gbọ́dọ̀ wá jókòó sí ilé ni àbí àwọn ẹbí ọkọ ń gbà yẹn àbí ìyá ọkọ ti di external
influence
factor àbó ti di external influence àbí nígbà tí ìyàwó ẹ náà ti wà nílé yẹn náà ìyá tiẹ̀ náà ti gbọ́dọ̀ di second kìíní tó gbọ́dọ̀ máa mú wá bẹ́ẹ̀ tẹ́bí ọkọ náà gbọ́dọ̀ ráàyè ẹ bá ṣe justice ìyá yẹn.
Okay, so gẹ́gẹ́ bí Sister Risco ṣe sọ something parties méjì ló máa ń sábà di gbogbo nǹkan tá à ń sọ yìí ó dá sórí two people ìyàwó àti ìyá ibi tí confusion ti máa ń wá nìyẹn ṣùgbọ́n tá a bá máa sọ bí marriage ṣe jẹ́ structure marriage gangan external factor ni màmá ni ìyá máa ń jẹ́ tí ìyá ò bá dé wàá mọ ibi tí báwo ni wọ́n ṣe máa sọ ibi tí right wọn dé sí ibi tó dé dúró wàhálà ló máa jẹ́ in that marriage.
ẹ má bínú pé mo interrupt yín o ṣé ìyá ọkọ ní external factor ní
àwọn méjèèjì
ní àwọn ìyá méjèèjì bó jẹ́ ìyókù bó jẹ́ ìyá ìyàwó in fact pẹ̀lú bàbá ìyàwó ṣẹ́rí persuasion náà lè ṣe in issues of marriage tá bá ti African culture bọ̀ party náà jẹ́ but tó bá yẹ pé a fẹ́ ṣe Islam ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe Islam ṣóye yín ó bá jẹ́ pé Islam tá fẹ́ ṣe ní Arab tó bá jẹ́ àwọn ways àwọn Arabs la fẹ́ kọ́ tóbìnrin bá bímọ ó máa ń gba nursing woman ni ìyá ò kí ń wà débi tí ìyá ọkọ máa wá pé in our own side is mother-in-law that come, in our own side is the wife's mother that come. Kò sí irú confusion yẹn. So tá a bá máa ṣe Islam, Lárúbáwá àwọn cultures Islam, ó ọ̀nà obìnrin, ó dẹ̀ fi ọkàn obìnrin yẹn balẹ̀ ju èyí tẹ́rù máa bá lọ. Ṣùgbọ́n tẹ́ bá ní ó dáa ká sọ pé ọmọ bá dé sí ìyá ọkọ ló fẹ́ wá, ìyàwó tí ò mọ̀ rí àyè àti máa access ìyàwó yẹn ti dé nìyẹn. Kò mọ ìṣe ẹ̀, most likely kò tọ́. Obìnrin yẹn máa ti tó in modern days nísìnyí táwọn èèyàn máa ń dàgbà kó tó marry. Tíyàn bá tó 30 kó tó marry, ṣé ìyá ọkọ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ fẹ́ wá máa correct ẹ̀ lé ẹ̀ ni àbí kó gbà bó ṣe bá? Ayé àtijọ́ wọ́n máa ń ní underage marriages. In modern days today, most ladies are going into their marriages with master's degree in their hands. Tí ò bá kọ́ submission, tí ò kọ́ no, not submission. Tí ò bá kọ́ respect, I want to use a word like humility. Tí ò bá kọ́ láti ilé, that woman is a full-grown woman. Ó máa clash pẹ̀lú ẹni ìyọkọ any day, anytime tí ò bá ti mọ̀ wá rẹ̀. So you see mother-in-laws too needing some form of lessons. Kó fi mọ limits wọn. I know some mother-in-laws tó jẹ́ pé tó bá ti délé ọkọ ọmọ wọn, tó bá ti bímọ, wọ́n á sọ fún ìyàwó ẹ̀ pẹ̀lẹ́ o, ṣó máa pè yẹ́ ẹ̀. Reason is because if you have certain excesses, it will still remain a secret to me, and I would never be upset when I did not see. Whereas Elomi, I wide, ó wà generous in thought and helping. Kò ní focus on anything. Ó ti mọ̀ pé you're a different person from a different family value and different background. Ó fẹ́ ọmọ òun ni. She would face the business of helping that she has come to do, and you would show her humility. But it's rare. Ketori àwọn èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. I was privileged to live with a family when I was in university. And the mother-in-law, when she comes, she honors that woman so much that I envied and hoped for that relationship. And it's been the only of that. Maybe few others, maybe just 2, 3 of that kind of mother-in-laws that I have seen. Tebari Tobini support my mother-in-law is everything in modern days today. Ask her in the corners, she would flare. It's now a matter of abosi. In Islam, it is required that a man, number one, provides shelter, covering for that woman. So the setting of where you are forced to stay with a family wife and your family house, and your wife is, exposed to judgment, harshness in correction, and other kinds of treatment. Except, rarely would you find such a family. Recently, a sister called me. She's always had to go to family. Her husband lost his job. She carried the entire family for a while. But àwọn tó pọ̀ ẹ̀ mọ̀ ni pé kó lọ bá àwọn family ẹ̀, and kò dẹ̀ mọ àlà yẹn fi sílẹ̀. So they talk down on his wife and children. They don't know wọn ò mọ̀ like that, to the extent one until say kí ló ṣe ó wálé ni, you know, that kind of, when you see her, you're kind 24/7. You're kind, you're happy to see her. You see her as an extension of your son, but it is rare. So àwọn factors to masaba call. I remember in my own marriage once, my mother came to help me when I had a preterm birth. And I did not want to be exposed because I was grieving to my mother-in-law at the time. Mommy, I know I want to help you, money, don't worry. I will have to fend this one on my own, because at this point I am. Anything. You might be too emotional. My mother-in-law might not understand it. So for that, to avoid that clash, my husband just stood behind me when we were sending both mothers out. And he started to nurse me himself. I don't want to be around people who might not understand that emotion. And that rule is very important. The last time I was on this session that I had infertility, it will be tough explaining it to a mother-in-law if you don't have a mature husband. And some husbands will not know. For instance, she'll be like, except she has been through, either through her own child or herself, they understand. if in those days, do it how mama wa ṣe máa ń bímọ tó ṣe máa ń rọrùn rọgbọ fún wọn. Kò easy bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn mọ́ these days. Women deal with so much these days. And you need a supportive person if you are going to pass through that trial and your mental health will be balanced. And the way their approaches might be, Koda. So fortunately, in my own marriage, we dealt with it as a couple, even though we were a match-made couple. Even though we were a match-made couple, because Amy, Mama Dale, I'm a Shani. So we had the conversation. We did not even foresee fertility or infertility. It happened like that. And so dealing with it meant that we decided quickly. It was my husband's suggestion. Hey, if we start to explain what all this biology to these mothers, like my parents who knew me growing up, who trust me, explain what I was going through, because my father, an Islamic scholar, of course, I needed someone praying for me. And I explained to him, they prayed, and but my mom, Toba ti gave my phone. Hello, Yahweh, mo gbagbo wa fun. Oh, stubborn, no, oh, stubborn, no. So that's just one side. I don't want to even talk about what the other side was doing. And those things, when oh mama pitch, couple tí wọn bá mature enough, tó bá more limits. My mom, your mom, oh mama clash. So limits yẹn gbọ́dọ̀ wà. Relationship mama àtọmọ is a special one. In fact, Ọlọ́run gan honor ẹ̀, ó wà lọ́tọ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà lọ́lọ́run honor ti ọkọ àti ìyàwó, because they are two special relationships. In fact, in all the faiths and cultures that I have seen, Islam ló fi àlàyé sí, òun dẹ̀ ló honor ẹ̀ jù. If, for instance, as the Quran says, the Hadith says that the ajana of any person is under their mother's feet. And in the Quran, when it comes to issues of righteousness and piety, Ọlọ́run ò fi gender kankan sílẹ̀. There's no special place for a man. It is always mankind when that address is given. Ṣé obìnrin, because she marries, loses her ajana automatically and it is transferred to another mother who is not better? But possible now. So the clarity is there in Islam, is very clear. And a man must grow. So also a woman mature enough to be able to say, okay, my own aljana is here and my wife has hers as well. I saw an instance in a marriage where be away and shame day on your hair, you have become part of us. You must learn to divulge or forget your past. What they were telling her was, your family, they are no longer as important as we are. In everything you do, priority must be given here. Ṣé àjánà ló ti wá change ni àbí báwo? Because if all of us are pursuing Jannah by caring for our parents, does she lose that privilege of caring for our living parents because she's married? So that culture, they work like life we are doing Islam, cannot be. But a woman who is raised well knows what it is to be humble and respectful of elders. And so that will be given. So we will not allow it in our own family. The moment you marry, your own branch has started. What you can take, you take it. What you cannot, you live it as a couple. So not that your wife is choking constantly. She doesn't have life. She's satisfying you, satisfying people she knows nothing about, and loses her entire self. She can't even give you love because she cannot love the situation she's in. A whole person, lo fair. Situations where I have a case sent to me, because I get these messages all the time on Instagram. This sister with 9 years this year now. When she was 8 years last year when I had the case. She's married to she met this brother. She wanted a very religious brother, but she's in trouble right now. Because there are 2 of them in the house in a 3-bedroom flat. The mother-in-law uses a room. She uses a room. When she had children, the room became the room for the children. Mama lo ma son nkan tí wọ́n máa jẹ, and it is strict. So Mama Yensin, if the girl now gets to the point she's choking, she either loses her marriage, displaces her children, so many evils that can come from that toxicity happening in the house. But if Mama Eba more place one and say, okay, I am not in this marriage, I'm going to my house. When I finished nursing my first child, I was still enjoying my mother's pampering. And she was like, I don't do 40 days. God go help you and your husband. or you won't call my husband's house because they're not paying my dowry here. So it is simple. For it is even more important that we have these sessions for our mothers.
Now, alhamdulillah. Ìyá wa kí ó ṣọ́ra ẹ má ti bínú. Gbọ́dọ̀ alájà wa Rizkia. Mo gbọ́ lẹ́ẹ̀kan tẹ́ sọ yí pé ìyọkọ ṣé ọkọ tí ò mọ ìyàwó tí ò mọ bó ṣe ń ṣe tí ò mọ pé kinní kan kò ní í dáa kó jẹ́ pé ǹjẹ́ alájà Rizkia bí wọ́n ṣe sọ ìyá ìyàwó yẹn náà tí ìyá ìyàwó náà wá bọ́kọ náà ò ṣe mọ ìyá ìyàwó náà nìyẹn ṣé mọ́jọ́ fẹ́ máa gbére náà ni ọkọ náà mọ ìyá ìyàwó
bẹ́ẹ̀ni
nígbà tó wá bímọ nítorí mo gbọ́ tàlájà wa sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan pé nígbà tí ìyá ọkọ tí ò mọ ìyàwó ìyá ẹ̀ ló mọ dáadáa bí ìyá ìyàwó náà ṣe fẹ́ wá sílé lọ́kọ náà ò mọ kí lè rí sọ sí yẹn.
Now, mo rí pé sister mi were very passionate and I think it's because of our role tí àwọn èèyàn máa ń bá wọn gbé oríṣiríṣi wá. Majorly nǹkan tí mo lè sọ jù ó ní pé ká padà lọ sí inú Islam nítorí pé Yorùbá ní inú ògbàlà Yorùbá àmọ́ tá a bá jẹ́ mùsùlùmí lóòótọ́ ẹ̀sìn kan ní marriage lọ́tọ̀ fúnra rẹ̀ lódìdí tọ́lọ́run tí ànábì sọ́sọ́ máa lè sọ fún wa pé 50% bó ta bá ti marry báyìí wọ́n pàwé iṣẹ́ wa kan dé wọ́n tún ṣí mi fún wa if this is not doif subhanallah lẹ́yìn máa wà very very careful in tí wọ́n ń pè ní sùúrù ní pé èèyàn ju right ẹ̀ sílẹ̀ o pé I live my right I know I have this right tí ò bá pa mí lára jù máa jù sílẹ̀ if I want to talk about this á dàbí pé mo wà too bóyá experience máa ń kọ́yàn láwọn kankan nígbà míì figagbágba pẹ̀lú èèyàn kan kò ní ó máa da ara ọ̀rọ̀ ẹdìyẹ tá a bá wà nínú marriage mo rò pé sẹ̀kínà yẹn ṣe pàtàkì fún wa ká dẹ̀ ronú pé a fẹ́ sin Ọlọ́run láti ara wa tá a bá sin Ọlọ́run láti ara wa kí ló máa rọ ọkọ mi lọ́rùn kí ló máa tẹ́ lọ́rùn kíyàwó máa rò ó kí ọkọ náà dúró ní ìdúró pé kí ló máa rọ ìyàwó mi lọ́rùn kí ló máa tẹ́ lọ́rùn kọkọ náà jẹ́ kó jẹ́ òun ló mú lẹ́mìí òun ló jẹ́ nǹkan tó pàtàkì fún un bí sísá nímà ṣe ń sọ yẹn fún ṣe wà lóbì ló wà ní gbàǹjà o ẹ má ní pé òun ní pọ̀ ìyá ìyàwó mi náà ò lè ṣe nǹkan kan o á kàn wá kó nira bá wọn nínú ilé yẹn ni ìyá ọkọ mi náà dé lè jẹ́ the same thing bí sísá mi ṣe ń sọ maturity gbọ́dọ̀ wà fáwọn méjì tó wà nínú marriage kí ló máa rọ̀ wá lọ́rùn nínú marriage yìí ká dẹ̀ wo situation tá a wà torí nígbà mìíràn láì pé ìyá ọkọ yìí ó kó wá bá ọmọ ẹ̀ tó bá ṣe ọmọ ẹyọ kan ṣoṣo tó bí nìyẹn gbà mí tàbí ọmọ ẹyọ kan ṣoṣo tó gbérí díẹ̀ tó lè rí nǹkan kan jájẹ ohun tó fi ń wà ìdí òjò náà ni pé kó ní kálukú wà láàyè àmọ́ tí situation bá wà rántí pé ká jọ wà papọ̀ lásìkò kan kó má sound unreal ẹ jẹ́ ká wò ó pé gbogbo ohun tá a fẹ́ lò láyé yìí gan mélòó ni personally I ask myself that question. How long am I going to be here for? Even tẹ́nìkan bá wá jókòó lé mi lórí lọ́rùn. I have Allah I can call on to. Ẹ má gbàgbé pa ní Ọlọ́run bá ta lè pé tó máa ń rọ ọkàn ẹ̀dá fúnyàn. Tí ìyá kan bá dé bóyá tí situation yẹn tó wà rántí pé ilé ọmọ ẹ̀ ló lè wà lásìkò yẹn. Ọ̀rọ̀ bá Ọlọ́run bá tó dá aya yẹn tó dá ọkàn ẹ̀. Ọ̀rọ̀ bá tí mo lọ bá Ọlọ́run bá kí n pè é. Ọlọ́run lè sọ ọ̀táyàn dọ̀rẹ́ yàn. Ẹ wà àwọn mùsùlùmí àkọ́kọ́ ẹ wo bí wọ́n ṣe jọ̀tá síra wọn tó ìgbà tọ́lọ́run máa ṣe wọ́n lọ́mọ ìyá ara wọn Ọlọ́run ṣe wọ́n wá di ọ̀kan ṣoṣo àwọn sọ̀hábà ẹ wo bí Islam ṣe dà wọ́n papọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká padà lọ ṣe rí bí ìyàwó ṣe máa ní fault bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni ìyá ọkọ ṣe máa ní fault àwa méjèèjì máa jọ wá wò ó pé agagáwó obìnrin àti ẹ̀ tí mú obìnrin méjì síbì kan is very difficult àfẹnutọ́lọ́run bá ti ṣàánú bí ìyá ọkọ ṣe máa ní tiẹ̀ lára ìyàwó náà ṣe máa ní tiẹ̀ lára èmi máa ní ká padà sórí Islam báwo ni mo ṣe fẹ́ sin náà nínú situation tí mo wà yìí tí mi ní jẹ̀bi Ọlọ́run ọba tó bá gbé pé kí n ju right mi sílẹ̀ láwọn kankan tí ò jẹ́ ìpalára fún mi màá fi sílẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká dẹ̀ wo pé bàbá ojú tá a fi ń wo nǹkan bàbá ṣe wo bí situation wa ṣe rí ló máa ṣe tóbi tó náà tá a bá rí situation bíi pé oníkálukú máa wà ní different situation of course inú tèmi ò tọrọ lọ títí torí mi fẹ́ràn ọkọ mi fẹ́ràn mi I was ọmọ ni bí fún wọn tẹ́lẹ̀ kí n tó dìyàwó wọn. Àmọ́ mo lè má lè sọ dáadáa tó, but as Allah will have it, I have been in different situations. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Oníkálukú máa ní àyè tiẹ̀ lọ́tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀. Tá bá ṣe ń wo pé ìyá ẹ̀ ṣe báyìí, àwa fúnra wa jẹ́ ká look inward. What am I contributing to this whole conflict? What is it that my husband can do right now tó lè mú situation yẹn yàtọ̀ díẹ̀? Okùn ìyá lára ọmọ ó ní agbára díẹ̀, àwa náà dẹ̀ ti ń bí àwọn ọmọ. In fact, tíyá kan bá ní pé ká máa bọ̀ òun ni, personally tí bá máa bèèyàn lọ́wọ́ èèyàn, á ní ẹ jẹ́ bọ́. Tó bá jẹ́ bíbọ ni tí ò dẹ̀ níjẹ́ pálára fún mi, tí mi bá rò ní ìdàkejì, tí ó dẹ̀ psychologically affect mi, ṣé mọ̀ pé a yàtọ̀tọ̀ síra wa, ń tèmi lè gbà ẹlòmíì lè má lè gbà. So we have to think about it deeply. Tí nǹkan yẹn ò bá affect wa púpọ̀ jù, tó bá ṣe é jùlẹ̀ ká jùlẹ̀, but the best bet tí ò rọkùnrin lọ́rùn, tí ó rọ ìyàwó tó kó ní kálukú wà láàyè ẹ̀. Nítorí wọ́n wá kí wọn yẹn gan kó mọ níwọ̀nba. Tóbìnrin bá bímọ, àwa tá à ń gbé labroad, ìyàwó ló ń wá, tó bá bí àwọn ọmọ títẹ̀ tí ìyá kankan ò bá wá, you will deal with it. Ẹ dẹ̀ ní gbogbo ẹjọ́ tó wà nílẹ̀. Tá bá ti mọ̀ pé two personalities clash máa wà ńbẹ̀, ẹ má jẹ́ ká wulẹ̀ mú wọn papọ̀ sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ara wọn, because a lè dọ́gba láíláí. So kí a wulẹ̀ avoid gbogbo ohun tó lè fa wàhálà láàárín ìyàwó àti ìyá ọkọ. Kí ọkọ rò dáadáa, mo mọ irú ìyàwó tí mo fẹ́ o, mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ ìyá mi o. Tó bá ti mọ̀ pé situation yẹn nìyẹn, má wulẹ̀ mú wọn papọ̀ sáàárín ara wọn. Ká wá ní dandan gbọ̀n, ẹnìkan gbọ́dọ̀ wà ní situation yẹn. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbìyànjú, ká ṣe Islam, ká padà lọ ká yẹra wa wò. In this situation, kí ló máa jẹ́ àkọsílẹ̀ fún mi? Because at the end of the day, gbogbo ayé tá à ń gbé àti ìgbésí ayé àtèmi nìyá ọkọ àtèmi nìyẹn. Ẹni tó jẹ́ ìyàwó lè náà máa dìyà ọkọ lọ́la, tọ́lọ́run bá fẹ́. Báwo lòun náà ṣe fẹ́ kán treat òun? Òun náà kọ́ ló máa raise ìyàwó ọmọ ẹ̀. Báwo ló ṣe kí lòun náà lè rò pé kí ìyàwó àìmọye nǹkan táwa gan ní lára. Somebody like me see fault a lot. I see kíní kù díẹ̀ káàtó síbí báyìí, kíákíá mo ti rí bóyá upbringing, you understand? So táwa náà bá dàgbà, tèmi dàgbà sí tí mo lọ lé ọkọ, a ti mọ̀ pé kí ló ṣe ìyá ìgan gbogbo nǹkan ló rí fault inú ẹ̀, you understand? So kọ́lọ́run kó ṣàánú wa, kó rẹ̀ wá lọ́kàn, tá máa fi mọ what's the main goal. We're not just gonna live here. We're working towards that house of ours, towards home. In all situations, I always ask myself and I take myself back to that. What is my contribution in all this? How am I expecting, or what am I going to get from all this situation based on where I am still going? Kọ́lọ́run kó jọ kó ṣe nírọ̀rùn fún gbogbo wa, kó jẹ́ kó rọ̀ wá lọ́rùn láti gbélé ayé yìí àti láti ṣiṣẹ́ àlùjànnà as we live together. Allahu A'lam. Ẹ wà muted o. Imam ẹ wà muted.
Náà mẹ ṣe yàwá kí ó ṣọlá wọ́n sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan torí mo fẹ́ ká yàn nàna immediate family wa yẹn, ìyàwó ni o, ìyá ọkọ ni o, ìyá ìyàwó ni o, ká lè understand yẹ dáadáa. Tí yẹn bá dúró dáadáa, some external factor yóò máa ṣẹpẹrẹ. Wọ́n sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan yẹn, wọ́n ní ọkọ àti ìyàwó gbọ́dọ̀ lọ máa gbọ́ àjọyé papọ̀ bí bá ti fẹ́ ṣe rí, bá ti fẹ́ ṣe rí. Mo wá fẹ́ kẹ́ bá a tún wọlé yàwá kí ó ṣọlá yìí pé tọkọ bá fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan fún ìyá ẹ̀ àbí bàbá ẹ̀, àbó fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan fún bẹ́ẹ̀ ìyá ìyàwó ni o àbí bàbá ìyàwó ni o, ṣé wọ́n tún gbọ́dọ̀ jókòó, wọ́n tún gbọ́dọ̀ sọ náà ní pé oye báyìí ni mo fẹ́ fún ìyá mi, ó lè fún lóye báyìí, àbí báyìí mo fẹ́ fún bàbá, àbí kan báyìí mo fẹ́ ṣe fáwọn èèyàn mi, ìkan báyìí ló yẹ kó ṣe fún wọn, àbí táwọn èèyàn tiẹ̀ náà. Ara external factor tá ń sọ náà nìyẹn o. Ẹ bá gbójú báwo ló ṣe yẹ kó ṣe lọ.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Alhamdulillah for my sisters. You know, this is a very educative session. And I think to jẹ́ almost every one of us ló máa wà nírú one situation or the other lórí nǹkan tí that we're discussing today. Yeah, we have family. And alhamdulillah, kò kí ń ṣe àwọn parents nìkan, àbáwọn family nìkan ni external influences, you know, tó lè affect marriage either positively or negatively. But question tẹ́ bèrè lọ́wọ́ mi ni pé ṣé ó yẹ kí ọkùnrin jókòó, torí pé wọ́n sọ pé tí ọkùnrin àti obìnrin bá ti papọ̀ tí wọ́n ti di ẹyọ kan náà, they should be sharing almost everything together. They should be committed to each other. They should be there for each other, in thick and in thin. Kò matter pé bóyá ó di dandan náà kí it's not a situation that a man has to come and take bóyá àṣẹ lọ́wọ́ ìyàwó ẹ̀ kó tó ṣe nǹkan. I don't think nǹkan tí àwọn sisters ní tí wọ́n mean nìyẹn. It's not. The thing is, when they say you are together, you have become one. Pé ìmọ̀ yín á papọ̀. Yeah, you share things together. Ó depend lé, realities àti àwọn nǹkan tẹ́ bá ti jọ agreed upon initially. Tẹ́ bá ti jọ set àwọn regulations initially. Like we said, when they are doing premarital, counseling kind of a thing, it must be okay, financial situation or your financial capability. This is how your motafe lele, iṣẹ́ tí mo fẹ́ ṣe lele, nǹkan tá fẹ́ rà by so time we want to build a house, by so time we want to do this, we want to do that. If that agreement has been stated, tí àwọn expectations yẹn bá rè ti wà ńbẹ̀ láàrin àwọn méjèèjì, then it's very, very important láti jẹ́ pé you carry each other along whenever you want to do something, because ẹ ti jọ ní àwọn expectations yín, ẹ dẹ̀ ti jọ ní àwọn goals yín tẹ́ jọ fẹ́ achieve. So my wife, bóyá nǹkan tá ẹ̀yin méjèèjì gan máa jọ rò, kò kí n ṣe pé bóyá ẹ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wá gbé wá pé mo fẹ́ ra mọ́tò fún mọ́mísí o, kí ló rí sí àbí nǹkan kan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn, ó máa wá naturally níbi tí mutual understanding, tí respect yẹn tó bá wà ńbẹ̀. Ẹ ti jọ ń ṣe àwọn nǹkan yẹn tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀. If she wants to buy something, pé okay, or bóyá ti mọ̀ pé at the end of the month àwọn nǹkan tá fẹ́ ṣe lélẹ̀, based on your lay down rules and regulations, based on your agreement, based on your discussion, premarital, the beginning of your marriage, everything. Cordial relationship yẹn ti wà ńbẹ̀. Ẹ ti jọ fi àyè yẹn sílẹ̀ ńbẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀. It's different from pé ọkùnrin yẹn ni òun ni how do I put it? Pé ọkùnrin yẹn ni the sole decision maker in the home. Ṣé mọ̀ pé relationship yẹn máa ti yàtọ̀ sí ẹ̀yin tó jẹ́ pé ẹ ti jọ agree tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ pé àwọn nǹkan tẹ́ fẹ́ ṣe lélẹ̀. So it depends on the situation yẹn, Imam. It depends on the situation to be able to know that, do you have to inform your wife or do you have to carry your wife along? The best thing is to carry your wife along. Tó bá ti jẹ́ pé ẹ ti jọ mọ́ra yín lẹ́yọ̀kan tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀, ẹ dẹ̀ ti jọ ń ṣe àwọn nǹkan yẹn papọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀, kò jẹ́ pé ó kàn wá dédé change àbí pé ó wá gbọ́ níta. A good woman will not stop you from doing things to your parents, while a good husband will not stop a woman from, taking care of her parents. You understand? It's a mutual understanding. It's a mutual respect. So you don't see it as if you have to go to her and get àṣẹ keto she. But there are some men that, wọ́n feel pé I'm the man of the house. I am the sole decision maker of this house. It has to be my way or no the other person's way. So it's not anybody's business. So in that situation, the relationship is no longer cordial. So tíyàwó yẹn náà bá wò pé on her own, I want to do something for my mom, I don't have to tell him. I think wò pé relationship yẹn ti ń wà strained somehow. So kò ní sí happiness nínú ilé yẹn. Argument á máa wà. Why did you do this? Why can't I do it? You did yours, why can't I do mine? But tá bá ti jọ based relationship on trust. Tá bá ti jọ based on, lay down set rules and regulations. Tá bá ti jọ understand ara wa from the beginning. Whatever we are doing will not be like òjijì àbí pé nǹkan tí ò yẹ kó ṣẹlẹ̀ fún láàrin èèyàn kan àbí èèyàn méjì. So you should be free to buy, you should be free to take care of your parents. The woman should be free to take care of her parents. But tó bá wá jẹ́ pé the situation tó jẹ́ pé bóyá ìyàwó ló wà okay. We have some men that unfortunately they are not as okay as their wives, and then they want to get something from this wife. They didn't even know how to, they still didn't know how to go about it. It's by fire, by force. I want this to battle wala mama shele nínú ilé yẹn ni, ariwo ni, ìjà ni, ọ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan ni. So ìyàwó tí wọ́n bá bí nílé rẹ̀, tí wọ́n tọ́ nílé rẹ̀, tó dẹ̀ tún ara ẹ̀ bí, kò lè disturb ọkọ ẹ̀ láti jẹ́ pé kó ṣe nǹkan fún màmá ẹ̀. òun gan la máa rán wọn létí pé like I do, I tell my husband ìjọ́ wo ló ti fowó ránṣẹ́ sí màmá òun ò ní ni no you can't tell me pé òní ni òun láti fún màmá lówó lọ́wọ́ it doesn't matter wọ́n lówó wọn ò lówó ìwà sì fún wọn ní títí wá rí pé tó bá sì fún wọn ní títí ẹ̀yìn wọ́n máa ṣàdúrà fún ẹ inú wọn máa dùn so you have to do it and ọmọ màmá mo ti gbọ́ o so that is how it should be but gbogbo ẹ̀ it's not a day's job it will be something that ẹ ti jọ build papọ̀ láti ilẹ̀ so àti sọ times down number ń bí báyìí that premarital counseling ó wà important gan ni so that gbogbo yín ẹ ti jọ mọ nǹkan tẹ́ fẹ́ jọ ṣe ẹ ti jọ mọ bẹ́ ṣe fẹ́ jọ deal pẹ̀lú ara yín ẹ ti jọ mọ bẹ́ ṣe fẹ́ build relationship yín bẹ́ ṣe fẹ́ bring ilé yín bẹ́ ṣe fẹ́ develop ara yín so kò ní máa sí wàhálà pé ó like màmá ẹ̀ kò like màmá mi màmá ẹ̀ ní kinní kan màmá ẹ̀ ní kankan bẹ́ẹ̀ and then the tendency to love your mom is possible but you can't show it to your wife that you love your mom more than your wife ẹ kàn fẹ́ máa dá ìjà sílẹ̀ láàrin àwọn méjèèjì ni let the woman herself try láti jẹ́ kí àwọn méjèèjì kí wọ́n like ara wọn so that when you are doing something to one èkejì ò feel jealous tó bá dẹ̀ ń ṣe nǹkan fún èkejì the other one náà kò ní feel jealous so it depends on maturity it depends on how you lay your responsibility and how you àwọn expectations yín tẹ̀tí jọ ní òun ló máa determine the way you go about doing some things.
Ọlọ́run jẹ́ àrí yín pẹ́ ṣùgbọ́n ẹ̀sán ọgán lẹ́ẹ̀kan nísìnyí kásáré sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí ipò ìyá ọ̀tọ̀ ni o ipò ìyàwó ọ̀tọ̀ ni.
Yes.
Pé mo nífẹ̀ẹ́ ìyàwó mi gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ ó lè mọ̀ pé mo nífẹ̀ẹ́ ìyàwó mi ẹni tó rèé nìyẹn. Ìgbà tó ń wá wáyé ìfẹ́ ìyàwó yóò yàtọ̀ sí ìfẹ́ ìyá àti ìfẹ́ bàbá. Ìṣe pé mi fẹ́ kó mọ̀ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ mo nífẹ̀ẹ́ ìyàwó mi a gbọ́dọ̀ mọ eléyìí dáadáa ó ṣe pàtàkì eléyìí kó wàhálà bá wa ó sì máa jẹ́ mọ́mí ó sì máa jẹ́ mọ́mí tí ò bá sí ìyá mi àbí bàbá àbí fámìlì tó rè mí débi tí mo dé ó ní rí mi dáadáa o.
Absolutely.
Torí ẹ̀kọ́ kan náà gbà níbi tó ti ń bọ̀ kó tó di pé ó wá rí mi tèmi náà tún á fẹ́ kọ́
Yeah.
Ẹ̀yà dìbẹ̀ yẹn mú pé ìyá yẹn torí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ obìnrin ní ìsìn ló bí pé nígbà tó ti fẹ́ mi tán náà ní ìsìn there are going to be a demarcation there might be a total restriction ọ̀kankan bẹ́ẹ̀ a gbọ́dọ̀ gbọ́yé nítorí ayé tá a wà ní ìsìn ayé Facebook ayé oríṣiríṣi la wà ayé ẹni tó jẹ́ pé tí ò ní ọkọ ńlé tí ò níyàwó ńlé àbí tí ò tiẹ̀ ní kankan lé tí ó sì máa advice yẹn tí ò yẹ kó advice. Ayé yẹn la wà o ìfẹ́ nítorí Ọlọ́run gangan fúnra rẹ̀ sọ nínú Quran ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ó ní wa qada rabbuka alla ta'budu illa iyyahu wa bil walidayni ihsana Ọlọ́run ó yànnàná ẹ̀ ni tó ká délẹ̀ tó yànnàná ẹ̀ fún wa ni ìgbé pàápàá gẹ́tẹ́ ẹ bá ń kírun wọn tí yín bàbá yín bá pè yín ẹ lè fi inú yẹn lẹ́gẹ̀ẹ́ dá wọn lóhùn wípé mo ń kírun lọ oníyàwó kò sí lọ́kọ a gbọ́dọ̀ gbọ́ ibẹ̀ yẹn yé tó bá nífẹ̀ẹ́ ìyá tí ìyàwó bá mọ̀ pé ó nífẹ̀ẹ́ ìyá ẹni tó fẹ́ ìyàwó gan gbọ́dọ̀ ní maturity yẹn pé kíni mo fẹ́ ṣe kíni mo fẹ́ ìyàwó maturity lèèyàn fi ń lọ nínú marriage àti òye àti counseling tí ẹsẹ̀ sọ ẹmu kan tíìpù yẹn sínú ibẹ̀ yẹn kí a lè mú dání ni ó ṣe pàtàkì mo á fẹ́ lọ sọ́dọ̀ ìyàwó nẹ́ẹ̀mà mo fẹ́ kẹ́ bá a ṣàlàyé eléyìí náà torí bí tẹ́ ẹ̀yin ìyá wa gbé mi lọ yìí náà ló jẹ́ kémi náà wá kó sínú agbami yẹn ìyàwó tó ní relationship tọ́jọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ó wọ́kọ lọlé ó mọ tradition wọn ó mọ̀ ṣe wọn nulẹ̀ yẹn ó mọ bí wọ́n ṣe ń ṣe bọ̀ tọkọ ti pé bá bí 30 years ló marry ni àbí ọkọ mi 40 years ó late marry ìyàwó yẹn ti mọ̀ ṣe wọn nulẹ̀ yẹn ǹjẹ́ ìyàwó yẹn nígbà tó ń bá fẹ́ra tán tí wọ́n wá jọ sọ̀rọ̀ ṣó ní àṣẹ àbí báwo ni ó ṣe ṣe láti yí tradition àbí ìṣe wọn àbí culture tó jẹ́ pé àwọn tí wọ́n ń ṣe nínú ilé wọn yẹn tó báwo ni ó ṣe ṣe padà àbí báwo ni ó fẹ́ ṣe láàárín yẹn abẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ló yẹ kí ìyàwó tó ń bọ̀ lé náà ní àti ọkùnrin tó fẹ́ ìyàwó náà ẹ̀kọ́ wọn náà ló yẹ kó ní torí pé ìyàwó tó fẹ́ lọ mú ibi tó ti ń bọ̀ yẹn náà àwọn náà níṣe wọn nílé wọn ní bí wọ́n ṣe ń ṣe àwa tó nípa fẹ́ fẹ́ra wa ìṣe tí wọ́n ti tẹ́tẹ̀lẹ̀ yẹn ṣé fífẹ́ra wa yẹn làwọn fẹ́ fi yí padà ní àbọ̀ láyé fẹ́ ṣe. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So ẹ jẹ́ kí n fi clarity.
ẹjá gbà béèrè
Sir?
yìí náà ẹjá gbà béèrè yìí. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Naam.
Haji Muhammadu Murtado ló ń sọ láti Washington DC. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn ìyá wa tó wà lórí ètò lónìí látòrí alájà wa Rizikot, alájà wa
Nima.
máa ń mí orúkọ yín láti TVC
Alájà wa Nima.
àti alájà wa kí o sọlá lóun bá san yín lẹ́san dáadáa. As a matter of fact, ṣe rí tọ́pìkì mo páàkì ni torí àwọn ìyá wa yìí mo lè sí páàkì. Mo rí pé tọ́pìkì tẹ fún wa yẹn ẹ sọ pé external influence on marriage. Wọ́n rí pé definition of obìnrin sìn external influence on marriage yẹn mọ̀dà yín lọ ni. Àìpé àfún ẹlòmíì ní orúkọ kọ̀ọ̀kan consider ọ̀rẹ́ consider ìbímọ mọ̀dà yín lọ ni. Before my question, I have one recommendation for us, or observation. When it comes to ìyá, it's something that is very sensitive that beyond anybody understanding. When it comes to ìyá, kò ní limit, kò ṣe quantify ìyá la pé ìyá ni o, kò ní limit. Kí ni àjọ jẹ́ báyìí? Kò gba ẹnu ọmọ pé ìyá ni àjẹ́ ni. Position tí Ọlọ́run fi ìyá sí. So, àwọn kókó máa ń wà tó máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀ sẹ́yìn obìnrin ní ọkọ tó tó àwọn ọkọ yẹn it is uncontrollable. Tọ́lọ̀ bá ti gbé nǹkan yẹn pàdé ẹni ọ̀rẹ́ tiẹ̀, you just have to be extremely careful. If not, we miss it. Because sometimes obìnrin míì tí ìyàwó ẹ bá ti dàgbà báyìí, obìnrin tó bá ti darúgbó, àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ bá jẹ ni. Tóbi bá ti darúgbó ayẹ mọ̀ pé àmọ́ pé Yorùbá fíìmù là ń wù lánàá rò pé àwọn àgbàlagbà àjẹ́ ni wọ́n. Ẹlẹ́kejì, fíìmù lóbìnrin ní ìwò tó ti máa ń rí ọkọ ẹ̀ bí ìka. Ìyá ọkọ mi jẹ́ tù ju ìyàwó mi lọ. Ẹlẹ́kẹta wá ní pé àmọ́ pé there is a very strong bond fún obìnrin tó bá wà responsible. Ìyá ni mo sọ ìyá tó bá wà responsible. Bond kan máa ń wà láàrin wọn àti ọmọ tó yẹ pé ó máa ń strong gan. Alhamdulillah, mọ́dà ni gbogbo àgbẹ̀ tó ń wojú Ọlọ́run kọ́ ló bá dá wọn lóhùn. There is very strong bond láàrin ìyá àtọmọ. Now, my question is this. Ìyàwó Nima máa ń kọ́, ìyàwó Rizikot máa ń kọ́kọ́ béèrè ìdílé lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. Now, if there is the crisis bá wà nílé ọkọ, the crisis bá wà, a ní ó wà ní best position láti kọ́kọ́ fẹjọ́ sùn nínú ìmáàmù àdúgbò àti ìyá ọkọ. The crisis bá wà nínú ọkọ, jẹ́ pé obìnrin ò lè control ẹ̀. A ló yẹ kí kóbìnrin yẹn kọ́kọ́ fẹjọ́ sùn nínú ìmáàmù àdúgbò àti ìyá ọkọ. That is number one. Tún fún alájà wa níwọ̀n. Ẹ̀yọ́ máa bínú tí màá get pronunciation máa ń find ẹ̀dínkù ọ̀dẹ́ báyìí. Now, my question is this. Kẹ́rin ẹ̀yìn before then, ẹ̀yìn kí mọ̀ pé àwọn external influence kan wà tó burú ju ìyá ọkọ lọ. Ọ̀rẹ́ ọkọ bọ́kùnrin ìgbéyàwó yẹn kí ọkọ yẹn bá kọ́ ní girlfriend ọ̀rẹ́ ló máa kọ́ mọ̀. Mo ti ní obìnrin tó ti na ìyá ọkọ ẹ̀ tí ó torí ìyá ọkọ ẹ̀ ṣẹ́ òkè tó yẹ mọ̀ bọ́kọ ọmọ ìyá ẹ̀ ò mọ̀ sí ó dẹ̀ nà ìyá ọkọ. Mo mọ̀ pé àwọn external kan wà àbúrò ọkọ ọ̀rẹ́ ọkọ bí i first person tó máa kọ́ mọ̀ tọkùnrin bá ní external affair níta. Ìyá ọkọ máa ń tó bá parí tán ní ìyá ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ máa ń gbọ́n gbà míì. But my question is this. Kí n má ti gbà ìgbà tí ń lọ bẹ̀. As a professional journalist, how can a job, for instance, pé ẹ̀ ń ṣiṣẹ́ òru sí, how can a job affect a relationship or marriage? The question is, how can your job, the of a journalist, then ṣiṣẹ́ lálẹ́, where my careers láti 10, láti 6 to 10, àwọn pé mo tàn tán zoom. Ọkàn yẹn dẹ̀ máa ti wà ní lálẹ́ tàbí teacher woman, how can that job affect or any tó bá wà ní position bẹ́ẹ̀, how can they manage themselves? So these are my two questions for two of our lecturer. Ọlọ́run kó bá ṣe rọrùn fún mi.
Naam, iṣẹ́ yẹn gangan external influence náà ní iṣẹ́ ọ̀nà tó bá tún yà fẹ́ ti lè. Naam, ìyá wa Nima, bismillah.
Oh, I'm muted, though, sister me. You're muted.
Okay, salam alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
I just picked a pen. It's night here, so I'm
Yeah.
sleepy and forgetting the questions and points. But quickly, Kim, put out clarity. If it was on your view, for instance, my stand might be different, but this is a Muslim forum. We need to re-educate ourselves.
No.
I know the ideal. I'm married. Next year we'll make it 14 years. I know the ideal, but I see the problems, and I will not be miserly with the truth here. Mental health, I won't be is the main. If you go to, I was with Dr. Memuna the other day, 60%, even 66% mental cases that she's dealing with are women. Are women. And if we belittle it and say we are fixing relationships here, most times by the time a woman is old or her children are grown in her marriage, she's already destroyed. She can't be whole, she can't love her kids, she can't even love. Some women will just be looking at their husbands as total strangers because the opportunity to bond is missing. I mentioned here that I was matchmade. I had to realize that my father-in-law insisted when I got married that nobody lived with us. Till I had my daughter, we had no strangers, and I mean external relatives, extended relatives from my side, from my husband's side, in our house. It was an advice he enforced from his side, and I made sure my parents enforced. He was the lifesaver because there would have never been a bonding. The moment he's used to his family. For instance, in my case, by the time I met my husband in February, the family members were in my house in June. By July, they were done with the date. The car was in August. I have never visited them until I moved in after my nikah. So where is the time to understand? We are talking modern relationships now where people are dating. And even then, abosilopoju in dating. If I don't want you to know my negatives, I won't let you see it. But in sincere marriages, once you come in, you are both studying yourself, accepting yourself. And at that time, there's still the blues that helps you to forgive anything. What snaps you out of it is when your husband has to choose and you're wondering, did I just leave the home? I am a daddy's girl. When I got married, my first shocker, the first time my in-laws were, I was like, excuse me, do I need to go back to my dad? And when that kind of situation comes and you leave the first one, deal with it. You leave the next one, deal with it. You leave the next one, deal with it. You're expecting the woman to mature up over time without reassurances in a relationship. And what is most dangerous is that you're not even living in a family house, but you don't even have a say in your marriage. Where in your marriage, for instance, okay, there was an instance in my marriage where I said, all monies given to our child is invested for our children. We will not spend from it. We agreed. My husband bought into it immediately. And something happened, and my extended, his own side of the family were like, your child's money is your money, spend it. And he broke that without discussing it with me. What did you think will happen? Secret investment for my children. And I'm giving you that honest, sincere example because we are Muslims here.
No.
A woman who knows what discuss it, because at that point he's confused that my family, they know better now. I grew up with them. They didn't give me that advice from a place of, this is an agreement. When we discussed it, it made sense to both of us. If you wanted to change it, we would sit down and say, okay, these are the exceptions. I am a person of rules. In my parents' house, you cannot date. And I didn't date till I married you. So you know I'm a person of rules. That's how we grew up. The two of us, we sit and talk about it. But when you change it, we didn't consult each other. And I looked at it first. Number one, the doubts of, is this person trustworthy with money will start to come in. Even though you're in love, and these are serious, I'm going to pick personal examples. And the moment I just found an insurance company, I started an Islamic trust for myself. When it matured and I told my husband, we fighting money fights. In my house, we don't fight money fights. And that did us a big secret. We were able to remedy that in society. Small issues like you need to solve conversations with people that take on waiting for you. The truth is, our mothers are honored in Quran, like I said earlier, but they are two separate relationships. And each must be there. That about coming into a marriage, The woman is not sitting on the end. Nobody is giving. It's ideal. But what if the person is not? And the husband at this point is confused. That's why our scholars need to explain, just like Mr. does, to his husband, what is what are. He said, they should ask him recently, how to tell a man you're not man enough. What the Quran says. So these are the scholars I have learned from. That man up and protect that woman you went to pick from the comfort of her own family, who is among strangers, presently being forced to accept things that might be confusing to her without reassurances. Our sisters welcome panu money. It is sad. I am privileged. We sit, we talk about it. I can be on an issue with my husband 2 months. Sometimes it is good for him to change his mind. I can wait it out because I know I have someone I'm talking to. He's so married. Kill yourself. How can you tell a woman who is going to spend the rest of her life, a lifetime, with you and have possibly raised children in the house to deal with something you've not reassured or dealt with? A simple instance. The sister in question I told you had to carry her family. Family or family on the other side that is looking for a job, but he's not saying how they are coping. And the woman is compelled to be in a family gathering. As if she's catering. She's not comfortable in that situation. She puts up with it year 1, year 2. The year she called me, she doesn't want to go. And I kept saying to her, family is important. It took me 2 days to say, advise this lady differently. Even look at it again. I had to call her that, do you have one person you can talk to? And I love that the caller that called extended it to friends. Because sometimes you need to deal with those ones first. I dealt with them immediately I got married. I looked at my husband's friends, the few we have common interests. I just need the same education. They're welcome. The ones I did not have, I will not lie here. I dealt with it. I called him. You can't be associated with this kind of person. This person beats up his wife. A person visited my house. The first time he's coming to my house, in my own family, we make tea. Where I'm from in Aochi, when a woman welcomes you with food, you take it. But when he is from somewhere deep in Kwara, he said to me, I'm Aochi. And you must accept that. My father will say, accept that woman. She's a whole package. Because why will you come to a woman's house and she serves you breakfast? I did toast and tea. Next time when I come to your house, don't make this kind of food for me. He's a friend of my husband. Somebody that when I check his age, we're not made. When I come to your house next time, don't make this kind of food for me. Next time, make sure you turn amala for me. I'm not from your. You have to have that large heart, because any year, we are confused. We don't need things that will start bad blood. There was one wife we married for my uncle. He divorced once. I remember going to the house and I said to the and I was like, I'm purging, I can't eat. That is meaning, so that they will be looking at you as if we are proud people, as if just say them I'm purging. That is meaning, why did you come on this journey when you know you want to make excuses? We want these people to see us as accepting them, and you must prove it every time. Bobby, this one I can't even explain. My sister married, and in my own family, Tabatishe, Amaduru Amashalayeni. Only you can't stand when we are talking. These are our family values. Go on your knees, and they were all like a mob on her. So I won't call you Taban Muni ideal. Ideal is that she comes into the marriage. She's giving time to hibernate. She's giving time to grow. She accepts the values that she's seen. She mustn't accept it. There's a beautiful sister who could be representing us in the air aviation space. She flies private planes like anything. But the family value she married into, she carried that knowledge and she stayed for 20 years in the marriage. We need to talk about the real things. And what's kill off her? My parents don't want you. Our women don't work here. And you come in MSS. When you marry in MSS, sister probably in her blues, accepting it. She took it for 10 years. She tried to have the conversation. The domestic violence. She let it. In 20 years, her kids are grown up. She's never used her thing beyond what she flew before she married. And you met flying first-class planes. Because we can't keep saying, Rikoto Wale. Sometimes That's why we see divorce cases. I'm dealing with a divorce now in my office, and I'm trying to convince the sister, don't leave. Try. Let me have a counseling session for both of you. Just 2 years. Okofesalo. On Thursday, one was in my office at TVC, and it's just a year marriage. She's shocked. There's so much women are dealing with, and women, what was when our hormones start to come. I had PCOS. People have other things. So my just as we have to understand our men and help them.
Alaja mo fẹ́ kẹ́ há di ilé sí torí àsìkò. Mo fẹ́ kẹ́ há di ilé torí àsìkò. Torí pé mo rí pé
mo fẹ́ dáhùn question tí
ẹ há díẹ̀ mọ́. Ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn obìnrin lẹ́ẹ̀kan pé mental kìíní kan. Àwọn ọkùnrin náà sáà náà ò ní mental kìíní. Sáà náà mature.
Ẹ jẹ́ kí n ṣàlàyé. Ibi tẹ́ mo lọ yé mi. It is you who is Kawamuna, and most times, as the leader of the family, you have the final say. If you don't do it in the best interest of your family, we are scattered. And because of that, you have a role, but you don't see it. A protective role. If at the time, you are a son in your own family, and you're also a husband in your own home, you put the gap. There's a distinction. See, your mother has a, if you know, some men will say, no, you don't know my mom. She's so kind. And in your very before, you will be wondering. I have an amazing in-law. My husband's siblings are the best. I always say they're the best in the world. But there are other things in my marriage I will wonder. It's easier when you have someone to talk to. Whenever I want to talk to my husband, I talk to his family members, his sisters. We understand each other immediately because we are alike. And they don't understand why I should give up life because of marriage. So they back me up. But I'll tell you the truth on this statement. When it comes to material seniors, it's different business entirely. Their view is in their own age generation. And it takes a lot of convincing. It's huge. When I had my first daughter, in my own house, I was shouted to me. My elder sisters, once they get married, they have their kids. They come home for 2 weeks after their 40 days. They are pampered, they're cared for. My dad shops for them and all of that. All the time I was childless, I look forward to that date. By the time I had my child, I kept saying, my own 2 weeks is coming. This is me being excited. And I go to my in-laws out of respect and humility to say, I'll be visiting my parents with my child. But I said, you dare not. I don't permit you. I was confused. I did not know what to say. At that point, I thought, okay, this is what they call marriage. Auntie me that's for me. Auntie me that's for me. At that point, I was confused. Fortunately, my husband just said, no, she's not seeking your permission, Baba. She's informing you she'll be away from home. She's going. I already permitted it. And all that week, he was going and still caring for his parents. And the moment I came back, I went home with my child to greet him that I'm back. It didn't affect the relationship just because we disagreed that one time.
Mm-hmm.
What men will now see is that how dare you disagree with your parents because of your wife? I be the woman will now do like this. Thank you. My husband. No, that's immaturity. There will be disagreements and there must be way forward. I'm on TV today. You think it is the acceptance of everybody? You think I didn't have to disagree with some people to be there?
Mm-hmm.
People will tune off within my own family extended when they see your view. This one, and she wear a hijab. We thought she was a Muslim. Is this the kind of job she should be doing? Well, I'm invited to this session because of that opportunity. So what would that be a service? You can't live life on people's biases. If we do Islam is clear. Islam is free, it's easy, it's beautiful. And we're here because we are Muslims, so we must tell ourselves the truth. And this debate in Bibai is because of culture.
Mm.
All that we are talking, if it is Islam, place. When I was going to my husband's house, my mother called me. No mistake, should your mother-in-law's entitlement fall into your post?
Mm.
She was not even being Islamic. But in my little knowledge of the Quran, it never happened in these 14 years counting. Ẹ̀tọ́ wọn is clear. In fact, if she's ill and my husband is away at work, he doesn't have to tell me. All I need to hear is from one of my sister-in-laws, or maybe I call her and she's not talking fine. I'll just call my sister-in-law. Why is Mama sounding like this? Maybe she doesn't want me to know. I know she's running a temperature. Oh no, it's due for her check. I have the timetable for her checks. I don't wait for my husband. I take her for her check. But we can be coming from the hospital by and disagree. I call that kind of Mama, that's in your house. My house is different. Because when I came to my house, my husband, this is what I need to do. This is my next step. Can we work this out? So by that, work out. We don't involve any other person in that house decision. But my 110% support for every role he has to play as the first son in his own family, me take him do. If he's reassured like that no, she knows what she's doing. Ko de ba won wi, ko ri won fi. Won debi ba yin si, won le dele mi kini, ibo le joko si. Mama, please come in this. She must be comfortable. But it's not that when she's comfortable, she'll be like, I noticed that you've been on a call for too long. Who told you? Did you tell your husband you want to do that StreamYard session? You people of nowadays said they are very useless girls. That's how some women talk, and that's the honest truth. And the husband will be like, she's my mother now, but what do you want me to say? He won't even try to convince her that Mama, and it's for some men, it's like, no, if once I just disagree with my mom, I'm straight, I don't die. But that's not the truth. You must be able to put distinction that, Mama, every of your interest, 101% is protected here, but this woman too has interest. She can't be made to lose herself just because she wants to be in this marriage. And you're not a party to that marriage. You are my mother, and your place is guaranteed. It is tough, but we need to tell ourselves. And we come to the friends and other external influences. But let's finish the one that is most influential, which is the parents.
Naam, alhamdulillah, jazakumullah khairan. Ó dà pé topic yìí alájà wa nímọ̀ wọ́n múra sí púpọ̀ jù ni. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí nígbà tí mo ń ka àwọn comment lẹ́ẹ̀kan, àwọn ọkùnrin náà máa ní brain traffic nígbà míì o. Ẹ kàn rò pé olórí ilé ẹ̀yin bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe wà ẹ̀yin obìnrin ẹ lè dà wá rú láàrin táà ní mọ̀ tá fẹ́ yà sí gan. Brain traffic tiwa ó ju tiyín lọ, wàláì. Brain traffic tiwa ó ju tiyín lọ. Alájà Risco ẹ bá dáhùn ìbéèrè yẹn tí ń bá tẹ́lẹ̀ ṣé máa ń bá ní ká fẹjọ́ sùn ní àbí
Yoko. Nah, I think it depends lórí irú relationship téèyàn ní pẹ̀lú irú ìyọkọ yẹn àti irú ìyọkọ téèyàn ní. Torí ngbà míì when people are emotionally involved in some things, àwọn ẹlòmíì ò kì í lè rí fault tọmọ wọn ní rárá àti rárá. They always side ọmọ wọn. Tó bá ti nírú ìyọkọ bẹ́ẹ̀, ìwọ gan ti mọ̀ pé kò ń ṣe màmá tó fẹ́ gbẹ́jọ́ ọmọ wọn sọ pé ọmọ yín ṣe báyìí. Torí èèyàn máa mọ̀ tó bá wà níbi kan tó jẹ́ pé kò sígbà tí ọmọ wọn ṣe àbí kán tiẹ̀ máa wá fi wé àsìkò tiwọn pé ẹ̀yin ọmọ yìí kan gbádùn láyè ìgbà tiwa bàbá ọkọ ẹ̀ gan báyìí lórí. Tó bá ti rí pé irú ìyọkọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ní, ó bẹ́tà fún ẹ kó lọ bá imam tí ó wà emotionally involved pẹ̀lú kéèsì yẹn ní méjèèjì tó máa lo Islam tó máa fi bá yín sọ pé báyìí ní ká ṣe, báyìí kan ní ká ṣe. Èmi ò lè fi ara mi ṣe example. I go to my mother-in-law. Ọmọ ni mí fún wọn kí n tó fẹ́ wọn. So I can't do if tí n bá fi tèmi ṣe example, it's not ideal for every single person. You know, it's not ideal. So àwọn èèyàn tó bá ti worú situation tó wà, kò sì rí pé ìyọkọ yìí bóyá ibi tó máa ń sábà ń fi sí lélẹ̀ àbí tó bá sọ fún wọn gan ohun tí wọ́n ń demand fún yẹn gan lọ́dọ̀ ìyá yẹn gan fúnra rẹ̀ ó ti pọ̀ jù. Kò tiẹ̀ tó gbé dọ́dọ̀ wọn gangan pé ó ṣe ọmọ kan ni ó ṣe máa gbarú ẹ̀ kò yẹ kó gbarú ẹ̀. Èèyàn máa mọ̀ wọn pé báyìí lọ́rọ̀ sí báyìí kọ́ lọ́rọ̀ sí. Èyí tó bá máa rọrùn àwọn ọmọ orí ìyọkọ tó fẹ́ tó ní á dẹ̀ mọ orú ọ̀rọ̀ tó fẹ́ gbé fún wọn kó dà kò ní dá wàhálà lẹ́sìn rẹ̀ mọ́rùn.
Náà ìyẹn ló sọ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ sọ yìí ní pé tó kọjú sẹ́nìkan ẹ̀yìn ló kọ sẹ́lòmíì bí nìkan náà. Àfi kí
bóyá kí sáré sọ nǹkan kan ṣá o brọ́dà wa tí wọ́n pè lẹ́ẹ̀kan àwọn aláàjì sọ pé bóyá àwọn tètè bá wa join ètò ni o ṣé wọn pé a bá ọ̀rọ̀ dé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni tó fi di ká mú ti ìyá ọkọ sọ torí lóòótọ́ máa ń wò pé àwọn obìnrin lọ́tọ̀ obìnrin àwọn la máa ń sábà ń bára wa fa nǹkan jù lóòótọ́ ṣùgbọ́n kò ń ṣe that's the only influence tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní sọ bóyá wọn tètè bá wa tó bá má ṣe ń gbọ́ wa bóyá wọn tètè bá wa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò ni wọn ṣe mọ orúkọ so many other things tí a dárúkọ síwájú àti sọ̀rọ̀ àti sọ gbogbo ẹ̀ náà tẹ́lẹ̀ just like my sister said the most influential náà làwọn tá a bá tọ́jú náà.
Now I'm glad that he saw the most influential external kìnìún nkálukú náà tí máa place ibi tí ó yẹ ká place sí ààyè wọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ obìnrin náà kọ́ ló ń ṣàánú wa wọn tẹ̀lé yọkọ ẹ sí wa ó ti kú wọn máa ń fọkàn balẹ̀ lórí yẹn kọ́ ló ń ṣàánú wa ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ náà ló máa ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn kọ́ ló ń ṣàánú wa kọ́ ló ń ṣàánú àwọn ọkùnrin náà kọ́ ló ń má jẹ́ kí àlùjànnà wa bàjẹ́ látara ìyàwó wa kí tí ìyàwó wa má bàjẹ́ látara wa ó sì má bàjẹ́ látara àwọn òbí tí wọ́n bí wa kì í ṣe pàtàkì. alájà wa Akéwúṣọlá gbogbo external influences tá ń sọ yìí náà báwo la ṣe lè keep away from marriage gbogbo external influence tá ń sọ yìí náà.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah, like we rightly said, there are so many other external influences tó lè ní positive or negative impact lórí àwọn relationships wa. So it depends on the influence tí ó bá ń ṣẹlẹ̀. Then that is how we will know. Wọ́n ní nǹkan tó bá ń ṣèyàn la máa ṣe mọ nǹkan irú oògùn tí a máa fún ẹni yẹn. So let's say for instance bóyá these days àwọn obìnrin máa ń wá financial independence, you know, that gone are the days tó máa ń sọ pé ọkùnrin nìkan ni ó máa ṣiṣẹ́ ọkùnrin ni ó máa jẹ́ breadwinner. So these days àwọn obìnrin náà ti, you know, they don't want to subject themselves to abuse, you know, domestic violence or being at the mercy of anyone financially, you know, or economically. So àwọn náà ti ń wá nǹkan wọ́n ti ń wá nǹkan ṣe. So if in a situation that, you know, bóyá financial independence ló cause problem yẹn tó wá jẹ́ pé bóyá irú iṣẹ́ tí obìnrin yẹn gbà ni ó wá di pé bóyá kò ní wálé lénìí àbí pé ó wá ń pẹ́ jù kó tó dé àbí ọkàn bẹ́ẹ̀. So the person can have a discussion with the husband. Kẹ́niyẹn gan tó gbaṣẹ́ yẹn, there must have been a discussion pé okay irú iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n fẹ́ fún mi lélẹ̀ báwo la ṣe fẹ́ ṣe. If you are a nurse for instance, so everybody knows that as a nurse you work shift. Maybe you are on day shift, you're on evening, or you're on night shift. Or maybe you're a traveling nurse that your work will take you out of the home for a few days or few weeks and stuff like that. So if your husband is well aware that, you know, arrangement atiwa, maybe for your family, maybe you have a nurse or you have a caregiver, you know, that is going to take care of your children or your husband. And nǹkan tó ń ṣe sílẹ̀ or kó jẹ́ pé bóyá ọkọ wọn iṣẹ́ tẹ̀ wà flexible, you know. So the major thing is communication. You need to communicate, you know, this is what I want to do. Báwo la ṣe fẹ́ ṣe, báwo la ṣe fẹ́ gbégbá. So when you are going or when you are doing it, kò ní fa wàhálà, kò ní jẹ́ negative influence on your marriage. So another one náà ni pé okay, let's say bóyá relocation ló jẹ́ bóyá external influence tó ń fa problems. Maybe you got married, then you now to relocate to where your husband is. You are new in the area. You don't have job. You don't have anyone to turn to. Kò sí support, kò sí anything. You are just on your own. Your husband will go in the morning and come back at night. Kò sọ́mọ, kò sí nǹkan kan. So you are home alone by yourself. You're going crazy. Bóyá wọ́n tó ti jẹ́ pé kò jí láàárọ̀ kó lọ síbi iṣẹ́ kó padà dé ni. So you are by yourself in the home. You are going crazy. You're going cuckoo, you know. Kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀? Every little thing no matter for argument. Bóyá tọkọ ẹ bá dé, bóyá pé ó ti ń wà suspicious that, you know, he has gone somewhere or something just because you are lonely. So that can be addressed, you know. So with communication, as I rightly said, you address it. Bóyá the husband is going to assist with, you know, putting your application out there or taking you to a center that, you know, maybe counseling center, Thomas, as a new person in this area, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do, this is how you need to go about things, you know. Tí communication yẹn bá ti wà ńbẹ̀, tí discussion yẹn ti wà, kò ní fàjà láàrin wa. Then we should have realistic expectations, you know. Mi lè believe nísìn pé kí n mọ̀ pé nǹkan tápá ọkọ mi ò ká, kó wá jẹ́ pé that is the thing that I will be demanding for. Bóyá torí pé ọkọ lágbájá ṣe nǹkan kan fún un láti ra arrange fún mi náà. And I know vividly well that, you know, he can't afford it. So set realistic, you know, expectations to yourself. If you want your marriage to be successful and you want to be happy in your marriage. Ẹ fẹ́ live pẹ̀lú rahama Ọlọ́run àti sekina bí sister mi ṣe sọ the other time. So don't expect too much. And don't expect that, you know, being your column so you're doing this good or you're doing this right. Limit whatever you say, whatever the problem is, limit it to yourselves. Try láti jẹ́ kí, you know, you try to resolve issues amicably among yourselves. Ẹ má jẹ́ kí ọ̀rọ̀ wa kó máa lọ síta. Tẹ́ bá ti ń gbọ́rọ̀ sí ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ àbí ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn ará àta, you know, whatever something máa gbà, ó máa sọ fún ẹ pé láíláí òun ò lè gbà. And in our home, ó ń gbà jù bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn lọ. Tó ní sọ́yàn kankan. So try to, you know, resolve your issues amicably within yourself. Then learn to forgive, forget, and move on. We are all human beings. There is no way that we will not be having issues at one point or the other. Life is not a bed of roses. So we should be able to manage our conflicts. And we should be able to accept things the way it comes. Oh, shit. Wow. Am I still on?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, ó dàbí pé mo ti tẹ̀ nǹkan kan bí bá. Màmá sọ̀rọ̀ lọ, tẹ́ bá ṣì ń gbọ́ mi.
A gbọ́ yín dáadáa, rí yín.
Lójú tẹ́lẹ̀. Yeah, so whatever tó bá jẹ́ pé nǹkan tó ń cause wàhálà yẹn ni, a máa try láti deal pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. Láti lè má jẹ́ kí nǹkan yẹn kó cause issue mọ́. Then circle of friends bí wọ́n ṣe sọ, tá bá ti gbé ẹjọ́ wa lọ bá ọ̀rẹ́ tí ò lọ́kọ nílé, then you choose your friends wisely too. Ẹni tí ò ní ọkọ tó wá jẹ́ pé ìwọ ló wá ń gbé ẹjọ́ ilé títí ẹ lọ bá, okay, alhamdulillah. Tó jẹ́ pé òun ló wá sọ pé nǹkan ṣẹlẹ̀ láàrin ìwọ àti spouse ẹ, then the best person fún ẹ láti lọ fẹjọ́ sùn ni. What kind of advice do you feel pé ènìyàn fẹ́ fún ẹ? Kò sí nírú shoes ẹ, so kò lè mọ bó ṣe rí. Kò sọ́kọ tó fẹ́ ṣoúnjẹ fún, kò sọ́mọ tó fẹ́ ṣoúnjẹ fún. So ó máa believe ó ní gbogbo time ayé yìí láti share anything tó bá wọn. So what advice are you expecting from such a person láti fún ẹ? So ká choose ọ̀rẹ́ wa wisely, ká dẹ̀ try láti, you know, we're comfortable pẹ̀lú nǹkan tá bá ní, ká dẹ̀ we're committed to our marriages. Like I said earlier on, that life is not a bed of roses. So oníkálukú ló bring nǹkan to table when it comes to marriage. You give a little, your husband give a little. Only, but you should not be self-centered. It shouldn't be all about you at all times. Òun láti jẹ́ pé kò gba àyè fún ẹnìkejì náà. Kò má dẹ̀ rí pé maybe whatever you are doing in that marriage, you are doing it for anyone. You are doing your own quota. You are contributing your own quota to the marriage for the success of the marriage. So you are not doing any favor to anyone. Tó bá ti ń rí rẹ pé òun ṣe favor fún ẹni yìí ni, then you'll be arrogant. Wàá máa wò pé èmi ni eléyìí, èmi lélẹ̀. But tó bá ti believe pé òun perform duty ẹ nínú ilé ni, you do it gladly, willingly, and with no iota of any reward from anybody except from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I think gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tí a lè ṣe láti fi lè deal pẹ̀lú situation yẹn. Then the most important thing is communication. We should leave our line of communication open. Tabatin build the stone wall in a relationship, ó máa fàyè sílẹ̀ fún oríṣiríṣi nǹkan míì láti grow. But when things are happening, try to dialogue, try to bring it to table, figure it out. Tẹ́ bá fẹ́ jà lórí ẹ jà lórí ẹ, tẹ́ bá fẹ́ argue lórí ẹ, then come together, tẹ́ bá, you know, to a conclusive part, kẹ́ dẹ̀ move on lórí ẹ, kí Ọlọ́run kó ràn gbogbo wa lọ́wọ́, kó máa kọ́ wa mọ̀ ṣe, kó má da ilé ẹnì kankan wá rú.
Naam, ẹ̀yin ìyá wa lé ní àwọn èèyàn gbádùn yín gan. Èmi náà fẹ̀yìntì, èmi náà gbádùn yín. Ṣùgbọ́n mo wá fẹ́ lọ sọ́dọ̀ ìyá wa Nímà torí àsìkò eléyìí náà la máa fi ṣe lọ díẹ̀díẹ̀. Torí pé tá bá ní ká kẹnubà ní kò ń bí ní èmi. Pàápàá tó bá ti ní í ṣe pẹ̀lú pé àwọn ọkùnrin náà la máa wà receiving ends ní gbogbo ìgbà, kọ́lọ̀ ṣàánú wa, a sì ń gba kámú náà. Sọ pé àrìjà ló kọ́ wá mú alẹ́ nìsà, olórí ni wá náà tó tọ́, ṣùgbọ́n àjọ máa jíròrò pẹ̀lú yín náà. inshallah Ọlọ́run ṣe dáadáa fún wa nǹkan ò ní ṣe ìgbéyàwó wa gbolé tó ń ṣèkì lọ́wọ́ báyìí Ọlọ́run bá mú dúró Ọlọ́run gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n tún fẹ́ wò pé àwọn náà tún fẹ́ marry àwọn tún fẹ́ ṣe ilé tún fẹ́ ṣe ilé náà Ọlọ́run bá ṣe dáadáa fẹ́ nìkọ̀ọ̀kan wa Ọlọ́run ìyá wa nímà gẹ́gẹ́ bá gbójú o kí ni àwọn tá a máa rí tá a fi mọ̀ pé ó dà pé toxic marriage lélẹ́yìí àbí toxic in-law lélẹ́yìí bó ti wà toxic poison lélẹ́yìí kí làwọn kan tá a fẹ́ rí.
That was very much challenging. Ẹ ṣé sà, so ibi tá à ń lọ gangan nìyẹn. I want to ká kọ́kọ́ focus on marriage.
Nah.
Marriage ló máa ń wà toxic kí in-law gan tó wà toxic.
Nah.
Ẹ mọ̀ pé in marriage, just as we said, we know who the head and the leader of a home is. It is stated in the Quran. But the Quran is the only book, religious book, that came and gave life to women. Ayé àtijọ́ ńgbà yẹn. Bó bá ṣe wọ ọkùnrin tí ẹ lè pa obìnrin tì. The Quran is the only religious book that says that a woman's emotion up to the point of sex. Ibá sọ lórí your view, this Quran again, because Ọlọ́run ọba aláàánú ni.
Yeah.
In the days of the Arab before pre-Islamic days, obìnrin, in fact, and it was the same in England. Chattel, bí furniture ilé, bí ìgbà téèyàn gbé chair sílé ni. Ewúrẹ́ téèyàn ta síta ní right ju obìnrin inú ilé lọ. Islam ló fún obìnrin ní dowry. So I'm going to talk about it Islamically. In Islam, we know who the empowered person in the marriage is. Tí ẹni yẹn, tí ò bá ní best interest of both parties, tí ò bá rí the other person as a human being, tó ní interest, tó ní nǹkan tó lè jẹ́ kí òun náà lè thrive, so that that person can enjoy the pursuit of their own happiness in that home without affecting the interest of the home as a unit, just as he has that right. Nǹkan tí mò ń sọ lọ ni pé, I don't know, my sister mentioned the issue of nursing. There was, láàrin àwọn Igbo tá jọ ń gbé bíbá, there was a man tí ìyàwó ẹ̀ ka nursing. Ó bá ọ tó ka nursing yẹn o. Ìgbà tó máa fẹ́ délé ó sọ fún pé kò lè ever practice ẹ̀. Pé kò lè ever fi ṣe iṣẹ́ kankan. And ìgbà tí ìyàwó yẹn sábà màmẹ́, ó sọ fún ó ní pé ẹ máa ń ṣẹ́yún ni. But they saw her. And by the time the woman stays in that marriage every day, initially mo bá ó ṣì ń suggest pé tóun bá ti draft nǹkan kan wá sí chemist, wọ́n á kàn máa ta oògùn, wọ́n á ṣe dispensary. But little by little, tí bá rí ilé ni mo kàn máa ń kàánú ẹ̀ ni. And I'm just grateful that I'm in a Islamic marriage. Nǹkan tí mi máa ń ṣe lélẹ̀. Tí bá jẹ́ pé verse Quran kan mo fẹ́ fi bá ọkọ mi sọ̀rọ̀, màá mọ̀ kà á lálẹ́, màá wá mú bírò sí àárín ẹ̀ báyìí. Màá wá kẹ sí ibì kan nínú ilé. Mo dẹ̀ ti ń sọ ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn o. Kò gbọ́, màá kọ́ kẹ sí bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀. So when he comes back, màá kọ́ mọ̀ fi síbi tí kò tiẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ iwájú television. So what's this one even reading? Akọ ṣí ni. I have achieved what I want to achieve without verbally saying anything. Ìgbà míì, mo kàn máa wá sermon Sheikh Umar Suleiman nǹkan Mufti nǹkan Sheikh Kasim. Sheikh Kasim yẹn dẹ̀ kó máa drop ẹ̀ báyìí bí bomb ni on in bullet points. I'll just leave it playing. Màmá mọ̀ máa play ẹ̀, àti inú kitchen, màmá máa play ẹ̀, màmá gbé kiri. Màá dẹ̀ máa mind business mi because I want to drive home a point. Right. But toxic relationship is that some women, beyond what I am doing, they can't even, I don't want to go far into domestic violence, but there are emotional abuses. I handled a divorce in 2019. I'm not proud of that divorce. By the time before I was done with the divorce, I sent the couple, I sought the leave of court to send that couple to counseling. And they were both Christians, but I sent them to Gania Olokodano. She's an Islamic biased psychologist. But on my assessment, let this woman go. Because man yẹn ò rí. Ó sọ fún woman yẹn ti fine jù. Pé ó dẹ̀ jọra ẹ̀ lójú. And she's the daughter of a model. She's very Catholic, so she believes in the foundation of marriage. But he believes that if woman yẹn bá ń gba iṣẹ́, pé ó máa divorce, so ó máa fall into the hands of the world. And he believes that he's caging her. So whenever she has a gig, an interview, anything, ó máa dè mọ́lé ni, tó máa mú kọ́kọ́rọ́ lọ. And she must not, these are Christians, they are not Muslims. She must not in that marriage cough if she says, quiet, I want to sleep. The worst happened when they had their child. As of pé gbé ọmọ ẹ̀ wọlé, 10 o'clock, ilẹ̀ ti ṣú fún yín, mi gbọ́dọ̀ rí pé wá sí TV, pálọ̀ wa wo television, mi ìdẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ gbọ́ pé ẹ̀ ń dún bẹ́yẹn. Tọ́mọ bá sunkún, woman yẹn wá dé ọmọ lẹ́nu. So those are extreme cases. But toxicity is that you can't grow, you can't thrive. Basic. In Islam is the only religion, even, I'm talking England. England, Islam gave women rights before English people ever did. I want the colonial masters were. In that part of the world, women did not have a right to property. They themselves were property. But in Islam, take the marriage of the Prophet Islam, for instance. The Prophet Islam made Khadija wealthy. He didn't make her poor. He aided her to grow.
To grow,
Benny Moso. But when they bring culture inside, I want to say, you are lórí ilé o, kò amúnà Allah ní side. Ìyàwó ẹ̀yẹ, ó ń bẹ́jù. And some men, our parents, our family, wọn gan máa ń wonder pé báwo ló ṣe ń ṣe báyìí. A máa ní ìyàwó tòun ẹ̀rù ń bà, an insecure man, a possessive person. Within the room, a possessive man. Àwọn nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn tó jẹ́ pé ó máa stifle growth. Ẹlòmíì ó kórìíra unnecessarily. If you are so irritated by another person's behavior, kò lè lo toilet tó lò, kò lè tẹ toothpaste tó tẹ, kò lè. Why did you marry? Because you don't want to see. You must see now. You know? So such, and it's not on the men's side alone. Women who don't know how to drop things. For instance, if I'm talking to my husband, when I get heated in argument, that's how I'll be getting voice. It's my husband who trained me to calm down. Because this conversation, we're not having it again. Your voice is going up. And okay, wait, let me go back. I'll come back. Recently now, I don't like typing. We have decided to be typing because when I try to talk, I might get overpassionate, and so I will just type it and drop it in his box and wait for him to start the conversation. Whatever works for you, really. But the marriage is a unit that both parties, is like two people owning a farm. And one person saying, no, I will just come for harvest. Somebody has to till that soil. And two parties, two hands on deck. So when we talk about toxic people, it extends towards, for instance, a family where your husband and maybe 2 or 3 siblings survived their parents. They were orphans. Your husband is first. He has to provide. And so when you got married, maybe within means you have to live with those people. And when you they turn the wife to an outsider who's the topic of every conversation. You know, what thing they do? No mind, I'm Jerry. Where would that come? There was a video that trended that we had to talk about on Your View. That one, Yoko's woman were in the parlor, and she went live on them, putting her phone in their faces, and she was doing a live and saying, "Are these ones in-laws? Am I your slave?" And she took the phone to the kitchen. Oúnjẹ tó dá, wọ́n ti jẹ, wọ́n wá kábọ́lẹ̀ fún, wọ́n wá padà sí pálọ̀, wọ́n wá Netflix. Ìyẹn wá náà tọmọ tán nínú ilé, ó wá gbé ọmọ jáde, ó wá rí kitchen. Ló bá ní ta ló máa clean kitchen, ó ní ó ń bi mí o, ta lè mí ó bi, and all those kind of answers. And the woman was just confused. Ṣé ó yẹ ká débẹ̀ ni? Ṣé ó dìgbà tí ọkọ yẹn bá sọ fáwọn siblings ẹ̀ pé assist the woman kó tó mọ̀? That means kò yẹ kó wá sí ilé yẹn rárá. And I remember mentioning on that topic that ìgbà tí mo máa fi àlà sí ti tèmi, ọ̀dọ̀ tèmi lèmi ti bẹ̀rẹ̀. Èmi lèmi kórìíra kéèyàn máa sùn after subuhi because wọn kì í ṣe ń lé wa. Ẹ sọ pé ta ló wá ṣe ń lé tèmi, àbúrò tèmi. He came over for a night. Initially alone first spend a week, but a night kan ló padà lè spend. Because by the time we were done with Subi or committee mommy, my husband likes to sleep his morning sleep. But in mommy pé tóun bá ti ń sùn, báyìí mo máa kanra ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn. So àti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí máa clean ilé wa pé tá bá ti ṣe tán á lọ sùn. Àbúrò tèmi wá fẹ̀ sórí bed. Mo lọ jí lálákọ̀ọ́, mo jí lẹ́lẹ́kejì, ẹlẹ́kẹta mo dá omi lé ní. They sọ fún padà sílé daddy ẹ̀. Because when it starts coming from the other side, tí bá wá ń kanra, wọ́n á ní ṣebí the other day you take your brother home. Má dá wàhálà lé mi. And I was not this old, mature when I married. I just knew tit for tat. It's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. But you see the amazing things. Tó bá jẹ́ pé àwọn in-laws mi náà wá kí mi, they know me. Tó bá ti di àárọ̀ báyìí, they assist me. So tá bá sọ pé bí kan ló ń ṣẹ̀ sí, ó lè ṣẹ̀ sí the other side. That's my own reality. And so those kind of in-laws who are in your face, they're in your marriage, they're everywhere, be Monsing, or doctor give you medical advice. Oh, Moyi, this child is coughing funnily, must have pneumonia. Yokawa ni ìlú tiwa. A ní àdìdúdú tá máa fi ń pa láyà, má gbọ́mọ yẹn lọ hospital mọ́. And she would enforce it. She will not just, it's not an advice. She'll say, and then she calls her son and says, your wife, do you know she was rude to me today? Or even the ones that are worse, the ones who form lies. So that kind of relationship, are we going to advise the woman to leave, or we will advise the husband to protect? Do you understand? Ìyàwó tó máa pe ìyàwó tó máa pe ìyàwó ọmọ ẹ̀ pé ìwọ wàá rí nǹkan tí mo máa ṣe fún ẹ. Or the girls who come to their mother-in-law and say, Mama, when are you getting out of my house? Nílé ọmọ wọn. Or when she's coming, pé wá pẹ́ ń bọ̀ now. You know? And then they show it in the food. Tó bá bu oúnjẹ, àyà bu crumbs egungun yẹn sí pé ojú màmá yìí máa rí pẹ́pẹ́ mo máa lé. Wọ́n dẹ̀ mọ̀ that the future is very close. Àmọ́ rò pé distant. The moment you start having kids, your future is close. You know? So they are everywhere. And you can be a toxic person yourself. You can be a toxic person that's in the wife. You can be a toxic person, maybe fully or to some extent, but you must be able to admit when you need help.
Okay.
You know, you must be able to admit when you need help. I was talking to a woman once and she was like, when I like, sometimes I just don't feel like cooking. And I don't care what he does, but he must give me the money. I said, Auntie, want to kill him? It's either you choose one, you want to be married or you want to be a widow. One of the two. So choose quickly. Why did you then marry? And she didn't see it. And I said, just have one session of counseling. I referred her. She went and came back and said, okay, I seriously need help. Said it's not even for your marriage purpose, but the kind of person that you are, generally, you know, and so it could be anybody. But when it comes to the unit of marriage, if both parties are clear, we then have to start to pick the external influences. In case of Islam, there's a confusion between the mothers because of the ajana at the foot of a mom for a man. So, mama yi. But if it was his friend, tó bá ti notice ọkùnrin mi ò kí notice ìyàwó yẹn àtẹ̀lé address ìtọ̀rẹ́. I've seen where they've slapped a woman before for addressing her husband's friend and saying, ó ní bó ṣe sọ̀rọ̀ sóhun pé is throwing advances at her. Ọkọ ẹ̀ ló jìn fọ́run pé you're accusing my friend without listening to that woman. So, and when you notice toxic relationships, you look at those that are not within your home. If there are those of friends, cut them off. If there are those within your home, try to reduce interaction so that both parties don't rub. So there are some people in life, even relatives that we are close to, but we cannot live with, we can't cohabit with. But we cannot cohabit with them. Some people, negative vibes. Just seeing you, it doesn't work for them. And so there's clash all the time. But when they relate from a distance, checkups and all of that, once in a while they show up, that's it. If a mother, for instance, is not helpless, she's not homeless or houseless, she doesn't have to live in the home of a couple. She doesn't have to, except where the conditions are different. Yes.
Jazakumullahu khair. Yawa Riskia, nítorí àsìkò náà ni kẹ́ má bá ṣe díẹ̀ nítorí Ọlọ́run. Ṣé kí a remain nínú external influences of marriage, or we should quit? Bó ṣe wà ní toxic náà, ṣé tó bá wà toxic, ṣé ká kúrò ńbẹ̀ ni àbí ká máa forí tì? External influence of marriage, ṣé ká wà ńbẹ̀ ni àbí ká máa forí rọ?
Wow, alhamdulillah. Just like my sister said, wọ́n yàn ọ̀nà díẹ̀díẹ̀ fún wa lára bá ṣe lè deal pẹ̀lú external influences. Tó bá ṣe ọ̀rẹ́ ni ẹ jẹ́ á yàn dànù, ọ̀rẹ́ lọ nìyẹn. Tó bá ṣe ẹbí ni ẹ jẹ́ á reduce interaction. Àmọ́ tó bá jẹ́ pé láàárín àwọn méjèèjì ní external là ń sọ yìí, kò ṣe pé àwọn méjèèjì ni wọ́n ní ọ̀rọ̀ wọn ò dọ́gba àbí lọ́rọ̀ wọn ò.
Toxic náà wà ń bẹ o.
Ṣé ká kó gbogbo ẹ̀kọ́ tó bá jẹ́ ti external ni ká yàn dànù. Tó bá jẹ́ láàárín ara wa síra wa ni ká ask for help, just like ẹni tó fi ṣe example yẹn sìn. Torí ìgbà mi yàn gan fúnra rẹ̀ lè toxic àbí couple lè toxic kó má wá ìwòsàn fún rẹ̀ àbí kó má wá help. Tó bá lè gba help tó jẹ́ pé á come to at least normalcy díẹ̀ tó máa lè ṣe pé èèyàn máa lè á lè ṣe ìbágbépọ̀ pẹ̀lú ẹlòmíì. Torí ẹlòmíì wà very toxic lóòótọ́ tó jẹ́ pé àti ẹ fẹ́ lè advice ẹlòmíì pé ṣé kò fẹ́ better kó dá dúró ju pé kó máa tún kó tiẹ̀ bá ẹlòmíì, because anybody that you pick, that person will become a victim of your own personality, right? Tó bá ṣe pé níta lè yan kúrò ó bá yẹ kí wọ́n lè ask for help. Wọ́n ask for help. Àmọ́ tí nǹkan bá débì tó bá débì, alhamdulillah for Islam. Alhamdulillah. Islam ò kí n ṣe till death do us part. Kò ṣe tí Islam kọ́ wa nìyẹn. Tó bá débi tí ò ṣe dì mú mọ́.
Tó yí dé góńgó.
Tó bá débì.
Tó fẹ́ mẹ́mi lọ.
Kíyàn má wá jẹ̀bi ikú gan fúnra rẹ̀. Kíyàn má wá jẹ̀bi àrùn ọpọlọ fúnra rẹ̀. I have been privileged to work in mental health for a while in England. Sísà mi ṣe sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan, obìnrin ló pọ̀ jù níbẹ̀. Ó ṣe bóyá ní Nàìjíríà nìkan, even in the Western world, this was in London. Obìnrin ló pọ̀ jù níbẹ̀. Tẹ bá dẹ̀ wo majorly in tó ń fa kìíní yìí relationships náà. I once had a patient ẹ pé tó bá ti jí lé òru báyìí torí pé Nàìjíríà ni ó mọ̀ pé mo gbọ́ Yorùbá. Ó máa wá bá mi ní nurse station ní ìwọ abẹ́rẹ́ sí ń dárúkọ pẹ̀ ó dà mí mo fi nítàn mo ṣe kinní ó tún wá jẹ́ patient tó wá tún máa wá pariwo kí la fẹ́ ṣe fún un. Ìsádà kan tún sáré rọmú pé bóyá nǹkan tó ń ṣe ni bóyá wọ́n increase medication àbí á ṣe kinní kan. Islam kò rán wá dé gbogbo level yẹn. Kí ló dé? Kò rán wá dé level yẹn. Tí a bá wá solution bí Islam ṣe tó kalẹ̀ wípé ká wá solution tí nǹkan bá wà láàárín ọkùnrin àti obìnrin. Tí solution ò bá gba solution ó fẹ́ better lára nú ẹ̀kọ́ tí Islam kọ́ wa àti ìfẹ́ tí Ọlọ́run bá nífẹ̀ẹ́ wa gbogbo. Tí èèyàn bá ṣe mistake ó máa ń ṣe recalculation. Èèyàn lè recalculate rẹ̀ tó bá lo GPS àbí tó bá lo sat-nav bó ṣe ń pè ní UK. Recalculation ó ti gba wrong route take another route. Wọ́n yí ọ̀nà ní Islam ṣe fi kẹ́ wa. In fact a lè dá yẹn lẹ́mọ̀ pé torí is another topic on its own. Islam ò ní ká kú síbẹ̀ o. Kéèyàn bá má wá jẹ̀bi ikú. Ẹni tó bá wà níbi tára tí ní tó bá níbi lòun máa kú sí tó bá ṣe gbogbo ohun tó yẹ kó ṣe tí kò rí yanjú kó yẹ gbàgbọ́ ẹ̀ wò. Check your iman. Are you thinking pọ́lọ́run ò lè ṣàánú ẹ mọ́ ni? Ṣé o gbà pé kò sí ọba mi ọba àlékè ọlá tó máa ń ṣàánú ẹ̀dá mọ́ ni ló ṣe gbọ́dọ̀ kú síbi tó yẹ kó kú sí? And there's so many examples lára the prophet himself. Tí o tiẹ̀ ṣe dandan tó jẹ́ pé external kìíní kan ni. It's just wọn kò wà compatible. It does happen. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí èèyàn àwa là ń yàn lóòótọ́ èèyàn lè ṣe dùwà ó lè ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ ó yan spouse ni tó bá work fine alhamdulillah. Tí ò bá work try as much as you can. Ask for all the help you can ask for. If it doesn't work, you do not have to end up in the psychiatric hospital. You do not have to end up in the graveyard just because the relationship will work. You can move on. Let's go. Ọba àánú á pèsè fọ́tún á pèsè fòsì. It is not something that we cannot do in Islam. We can do it. It's possible. Do your own part. Ọkọ jọ nínú àánú ẹ̀ kó kọ gbogbo wa mọ̀ ṣe jù báyìí lọ.
Àmín. Yá wa Kéwú Ṣọlá mo fẹ́ kẹ́ bá round ẹ̀ up ká tún mú níbi tí a ti fẹ́ mú ẹ bá round ẹ̀ up ọ̀rọ̀ yanjú fọ́kùnrin fóbìnrin fẹ́ni tó undergo toxic fẹ́ni tí ò tí undergo toxic fẹ́ni tó ń experience ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ fẹ́ni tó ń rí treat ẹ̀ pé kíní ìmá ti ń bọ̀ tó ti ń rí flashlight ilé kíní ti ń bọ̀ ẹ bá kó pọ̀ nílà ọ̀rọ̀ yanjú ẹ bá sọ fún ká máa lọ sí ká tún fi kọ́ ká wá mú níjọ́ mi inshallah.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to continue to guide and lead us aright. Kọ́bílọ̀ kó má ṣe wá ní àádọ́rùn mọ́tọ́. I think going into a relationship or a marriage, we all want to be happy. I feel happiness in a relationship. I feel peace of mind in a relationship. We want people to respect us. So therefore, we should respect others too. Only respect is reciprocal. And whatever you have is what you can bring into the relationship. What you don't have, you can't give it. And when you are confident yourself, right, then you feel secure in your own relationship, in your home, in your marriage. So bá ní confidence, kò séèyàn tó lè gba confidence lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. And when you feel secured, kò séèyàn tó lè wá bully ẹ̀ nínú ilé yẹn. So gbogbo eléyìí tá bá ní lọ́wọ́, then wo a máa rí nǹkan ní kékeré, àní mú nǹkan tó le. Then we should be respectful. We should try to cover our husband excesses. Kò séèyàn kankan tó gbọ́n tán, kò séèyàn kankan tó mọ̀ tán. A lè wá sọ pé bóyá torí pé ó kù díẹ̀ síbì kan, à ń láti expose ẹ̀ ni, àbí à ń láti fìgbá gbá lórí ni, àbí à ń láti hùwà kan tó kù díẹ̀ káàtó ni. Ẹ jẹ́ ká mọ̀ pé, whatever happened at any particular point in time, téèyàn bá ti ní ìgbàgbọ́ nínú Ọlọ́run, à mọ̀ pé wọ́n sọ pé ewé kan kì í máa ń jábọ́, k'Ọlọ́run má mọ̀ sí. So we know that, it is the will of God at that particular point in time. Ọlọ́run náà la tún máa wá pè. Tó bá jẹ́ pé nǹkan tá a fẹ́ ni, à bẹ̀. Tó bá jẹ́ pé nǹkan tá a fẹ́, k'Ọlọ́run kó jọ kó bá wa mú kúrò. If we have, sinned in one way or the other, we seek for forgiveness. Pé k'Ọlọ́run kó ṣe àmójúkúrò ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ fún wa. And nǹkan tágbára wa ò ká, ká má máa fi gọ̀ǹgọ̀ fà á. So whatever is not within our own power, within our own capability, we shouldn't seek for it by fire, by force. Kò sí nǹkan tó jẹ́ dandan láyé yìí. Kò sí nǹkan kan tá a mú wá, kò dẹ̀ sí nǹkan kan tá a fẹ́ mú lọ. K'Ọlọ́run kó gba gbogbo wa láyè. K'Ọlọ́run kó ṣàánú gbogbo wa. Kó má jẹ́ kí àtàwọn tó ní toxic, àtàwọn tí ó jẹ́ pé internally ni, àbáwọn fún ara wọn ni, àbáwọn external forces náà ni. Gbogbo àwọn sisters wa ti sọ the way tá a ṣe lè deal pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. We want to face the situation with maturity, with the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in us, and with respect. Kò séèyàn kankan tó jẹ́ ẹranko. So we can't deal with ourselves like ẹranko. So kárí pé ẹlẹ́ran ara ni gbogbo wa. Wọ́n sọ pé I was, giving an analogy at my workplace the other time. There are two, àwọn méjì kan ní conflict. So one was asking for something from the other one, and the other one was just pointed somewhere. Ìtọ́ wá point sí yẹn, ẹni yẹn débẹ̀ yẹn, ó rí pé wrong thing ló wà níbẹ̀ yẹn. So ẹni yẹn lọ síbòmíì, ó lọ mú nǹkan tó fẹ́ yẹn. Then she came back to meet this person that, I hope what you put downstairs, because ẹni tó point síbẹ̀ yẹn fún yẹn, ó ti lo nǹkan yẹn. I hope what you put downstairs, you did not use, this form from here. And ó wá fún ní attitude pé ṣé kò ríran ni, something like that. So I was dealing with that, and then no, ó sọ fún pé, but she can see that I was doing something. That is not acceptable, right? So we shouldn't treat ourselves like animals. So we should respect each other, So gbogbo àwọn nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn táwa náà bá ní pẹ̀lú ara wa, gbogbo nǹkan tá à ń rò pé ó ṣòro nínú àwọn relationships wa yìí, àbí tá a rò pé ó ń fa wàhálà nínú àwọn relationships, there are things that we can deal with. Àwọn nǹkan tá a lè resolve ni, wọn kì í ṣe nǹkan tí ò ṣe resolve. Then, like the sister Rizkia said, tó bá di pé ó ti dé ibi báyìí, kò kí n ṣe pé kéèyàn kú síbẹ̀. So don't be rude, and don't be, somebody that people will see as a standoffish. Pé eléyìí ò lè wá sílé mi, ò lè ṣe nǹkan kan. There are ways, to pass your information across. There are ways to put your thoughts through. Like sister yẹn sọ pé táwọn bá fẹ́ put nǹkan kan forward àwọn ọmọ báwọn ṣe máa ṣe bí káwọn place nǹkan kan síbi kan there are ways that tó bá understand ẹni tẹ́jọ́ ń gbé á ní béèyàn ṣe lè deal pẹ̀lú àwọn situation kan tó jẹ́ pé ẹnìyàn kàn tiẹ̀ wá rọ̀ fún ẹ wá rò pé bóyá ò fún ní nǹkan jẹ ni àbí bóyá nǹkan kan wọn ní mọ̀ pé system tó ń lò nínú ilé òun ló rọ ẹni yẹn fún ẹ kí Ọlọ́run kó má dá ilé gbogbo wa rú gbogbo àwọn tó ti wà nínú ẹ̀ tí wọ́n ní irú wàhálà kan àbí kọ́lọ̀ kó bá wa tó ilé wọn àwọn tí wọ́n ń gbàdúrà that they want to go into marriage kọ́lọ̀ kó ṣe àwọn àti àwọn èkejì wọn ní ọ̀rẹ́ ara wọn àwọn tó dẹ̀ sì ń wà náà pọ̀ àwọn fẹ́ kọ́lọ̀ kó ṣe ẹni tó máa ṣe bí ẹnì kejì wọn kọ́lọ̀ kó bless wọn pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ kọ́lọ̀ kó ṣàánú gbogbo wa kó má wá jẹ́ èyí tá a sọ yìí kó má gbà ní aburú fún wa kó má wá jẹ́ kó jẹ́ àsọmọ fún ẹnì kọ̀ọ̀kan nínú wa Ọlọ́run kó gbà lẹ́sìn fún gbogbo wa.
adúpẹ́ fún Ọlọ́run adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀yin ìyá wa tí ẹ bá wa sórí ètò lénìí àkọ́kọ́ alájà wa Rizkia Kamaldeen ọba tí ó ṣe yín ní ìyàwó dáadáa tó ṣe yín ní mùsùlùmí Ọlọ́run má bà yín jẹ́ Ọlọ́run ògo Ọlọ́run gbogbo tẹ́yin náà fẹ́ Ọlọ́run bá ṣe fún yín ilé yín ọ̀nà yín Ọlọ́run má bàjẹ́ Ọlọ́run ọlànà ẹni tí ó dọ̀nà yín Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ bá ní papọ̀ iṣẹ́ ìṣe yín Ọlọ́run bá fi àlùbáríkà tí ó pọ̀ Ọlọ́run bá fi sí wala hawla wala quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim. Kí alájà wa Ni'ma lẹ́yìn wọ́n fàyà gan
alhamdulillah
fàyà fáwọn ọkùnrin gan Ọlọ́run má dọ̀pọ̀lọ́ yín rú Ọlọ́run àmín ọlá bíbí ànábì wa Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam ẹ ti rí oríṣiríṣi experience àti wíwá bá bá yín nítorí pé kí ni ààyè tọ́lọ́run fi yín sí ògo Islam náà lẹ́jẹ́ nígbà bá wo gbogbo tẹ wà lẹ́yìn náà nísìnyí mùsùlùmí mélòó ló lè borí ló lè ṣe gbogbo eléyìí tẹ́ ń ṣe yìí náà gbogbo Islam yọ Ọlọ́run tó wá sí yín ní sirajan munira àtùpà tó ń tàn mọ́lẹ̀ tí díwọ̀n náà ṣókùnkùn Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ kí ìdí yín ṣókùnkùn láíláí Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ káyé náwó ìka lọ wá nǹkan míì ṣe sí yín Ọlọ́run ilé yín ọ̀nà yín Ọlọ́run má dàrú wala bíbí ànábì wa Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam bẹ́yìn ìyàwó yìí náà ṣe jẹ́gò Islam ẹ̀sẹ̀ jẹ́gò Islam àwọn ọmọ yín Ọlọ́run jẹ́ wọ́n jẹ́ ògo jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ wala bíbí ànábì wa Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam wá sí ìyàwó Akéwù Ṣọlá kí Ọlọ́run jọ kọ́lọ́run má fi ẹ̀yin náà lẹ̀ Ọlọ́run bá gbàdúrà yín ìràwọ̀ lẹ́jẹ́ ògo lẹ́jẹ́ ìkàn lẹ́jẹ́ Ọlọ́run má bà yín jẹ́ wala bíbí ànábì wa Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam àwọn gbogbo àwọn viewers wa wọ́n tí wọ́n ń wò wá tí à ń kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lórí program yìí every Fridays every Sunday tá ń kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tájọ́ ń kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tájọ́ ń gbára nímọ̀ràn wọ́n ní òkùnkùn oníkùn kó nínú má mọ́nú tán bá sọ nǹkan kan àbí tán bá sọ ìkejì náà ń kálukú ló mọ bí tó ti ń pìǹchì òun náà ń kálukú ló ti fẹ́ mọ bí tó fẹ́ túbẹ̀ ṣe ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n ní ẹlòmíì ni wọ́n máa bá wí tí ó máa rí tẹlòmíì tí ò ní rí pàkọ́ tiẹ̀ àfi káà náà máa ṣọ́ra káyé máa wo ní onílé ká máa wọ ẹni ẹlẹ́ni ẹjẹ́ aṣọ tiwa náà ká mú tiwa náà dáadáa ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ilé wọn tó yẹ pé tí wọ́n gbà gẹ́gẹ́ báwọn ìyá wa ṣe sọ ni ẹlòmíì ò lè gbà ṣùgbọ́n gbà ń lé aṣọ fún pé òun ò lè gbà ṣùgbọ́n gbà tó jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ ń lé o wàláì gbà tó jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ ń lé a sì máa dẹnu ta a máa dẹnu òun ṣe lè òun ṣe tọ̀hún àìmọye ẹni tí wọ́n ti fi irú ẹni bẹ́ẹ̀ tí wọ́n ti fi ṣì lọ́nà ẹ̀já ń kálukú ló mọ bó ṣe fẹ́ design ilé ẹ̀ yóò ṣe gbélé ẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n àwọn ìyá wa sọ nǹkan lẹ́ẹ̀kan wọ́n ní ká mú al-Qur'an because as a Muslim you are the Muslimi we are the last page of al-Qur'an bí Qur'an ṣe pé yẹn we are the last page non-Muslim will not read Qur'an mo ṣe máa ń sọ they will not read hadith but they are reading Muslims ìwé yẹn náà ti tó láti lè fi ṣe gbogbo ètò ìgbésí ayé yẹn kò sí nǹkan téèyàn ń wá ń bẹ̀ téèyàn ò rí nínú Qur'an anabi náà ó ti mú àdísì ní ó fi yànnàná gbogbo ẹ̀ tàbá fi lè ṣe atọ́nà wa ó mà dáa púpọ̀ Ọlọ́run dá wa lọ́kùnrin ó dá wa lóbìnrin ó dá lómìn gíga ó dá lómìn dúdú bó ṣe wá dá wa yẹn náà ó ní nǹkan tó fẹ́ ní kọ̀ọ̀kan wa ṣe kò ní sí bó ṣe máa rálẹ̀ bí ara ìyàwó ẹ̀ ó rí nǹkan tó dáa lára ẹ̀ yálà látara ọmọ látara nǹkan míì tó ń ṣe látara nǹkan míì ibi tó wá dá yẹn náà ni kò máa fi consider ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà làwọn ọkùnrin náà kò ní sí bá a ṣe dá bá a ṣe ṣe tó bá a ṣe ṣe kinní kan náà tó náà pé kinní kan ibi tá a kù sí yẹn náà ẹ bá amend ẹ ẹ bá ahmed ẹ bá fọwọ́ gbé dúró kọ́lọ̀ ṣàánú ẹnì kọ̀ọ̀kan ọlọ́run má fi wálé ọlá la hawla wala quwwata illa billahi ọlá bismillahir rahmanir rahim وتلك حجتنا آتينا إبراهيم على قومه نرفع درجات من نشاء إن ربك الحكيم الحليم ووهبنا له إسحاق ويعقوب كلا هدينا ونوحا هدينا من قبل ومن ذريات داود وسليمان وأيوب ويوسف وموسى وهارون وكذلك نجزي المحسنين وزكريا ويحيى وعيسى وإلياس كل من الصالحين وإسماعيل واليسع ويونس ولوطا وكلا فضلنا على العالمين ومن آبائهم وذرياتهم وإخوانهم واجتبينا وهدينا إلى صراط المستقيم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد اللهم صل وارحم وصليت على سيدنا محمد كما صليت وإبراهيمت على سيدنا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار سبحان رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين وأكتب يا شيغان الشيخ الحمامي إن شاء الله ورفعنا مكانا جزاكم الله خير ọlọ́run bá ṣe dáadáa fún yín bá ṣe ọlọ́run bá ṣe dáadáa fún yín amọ̀lórí gbogbo ẹ̀kọ́ tẹ́ ń kọ́ wa ní gbogbo ìgbà àìmọye ilé tẹ́ ti yè tí ètò bá ń ṣe iná tó ti yè tá a mọ̀ àìmọye tó ti fẹ́ kó síbi àkàngbélé náà náà lè tuntun ṣe kọ́lọ̀ má kọ̀ yín lẹ̀ wala la hawla wala quwwata illa billah رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله